I feel like in the theater right now, like everyone is in silence. Do we really hear my mic? Because I do not hear that I am talking.
No, I think we just hear you.
You hear me, but not me through a mic. So I am looking to that window for the approval that I am talking to a microphone. But we do not hear microphone here. We hear just me, myself. So I do not know how much to shout. Okay, perfect. So, hello everyone. Hello TechHub fellows. Hello investors. Hello entrepreneurs. And definitely hello everyone who is watching us live on Meta YouTube channel. Are you happy today? Yes. Are you ready? Are you excited?
Yes.
Woohoo! Yes, I am excited. I'm not sure you are excited so much, or you are still feel like before the exam. This is not the exam. Definitely not. Are you ready for this exciting journey into the world of exciting business opportunities and new startups world? Okay, so ready. Yes, we are definitely ready. You know, today while driving from Kaunas to Vilnius, I was thinking do you remember all those, it was very popular, all those Miss competitions a lot of years ago. So it has evolved. It has evolved to startup competitions. And you know why? I found some similarities. It was like, at that time, everybody said, my number is 5, and I want to save the world. And now every startup almost is telling, instead of my number, there's and I am John from XXX. And I want to make an impact to the world, and I want the world to be better. So it has evolved, and it's much more equality friendly, I would say. And it's not just about beauty. Okay, so what we will do today? Today we invite you to step into investors' shoes, and we have 3 real investors here sitting nearby. Yeah, Ramunya, go, definitely. The investor shoes, and carefully listen to 8 pitches, to 8 selected pitches of startups of cohort 3. Just to remind you that today we have demo day of cohort 3, and in total we will have 6 cohorts, right? Okay, so until we are not on stage, I encourage you to invite all your closest networks and everybody you know to join us live on YouTube channel, and as well if you want to join us here, definitely we still have time until I will present what we are doing here. Okay, so what is TechHub? TechHub is pre-accelerator and is innovations and entrepreneurship program for startups that is tailor-made and carried by entrepreneurs, real investors, real practitioners in the field. Nothing about theory, just about practice, right? TechHub project is implemented by the Agency for Science, Innovations and Technology. Now I want to hear a lot of applause. TechHub program is implemented by the Agency for Science, Innovations and Technology. They're all, okay. To help to develop early stage innovative business ideas, encourage intensive startup growth and sustainable development of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And here we have a lot of examples right now. The aim of the project is to encourage researchers, scientists, students, and businesses to develop innovative ideas, provide their teams with support and opportunities for the growth. And the project is funded by the European Regional Development Fund. Again, applause. Remember, you always need to thank and to shout to all sponsors, everybody who supports you. Just pay it forward and say big thank you always by claps and shouts, and it doesn't cost, but it brings back. Okay, so the project is funded by the European Regional Development Fund. And I'm very happy to say a big and huge thank you to our great partners. Hostinger, woo! TGS Baltics, woo! Limstead, Google, MailerLite, and Metida. And they have supported TechHub startups through the whole program. So again, thank you. MITA, thank you Regional Development Fund, and thank you Hostinger, TGS Baltics, Glimstead, Google, MailerLite, and Metida. It's the first program of its kind in Lithuania, but not only for Lithuanians, just for double check that everyone knows it, which is continuously going, and we will have in total 6 cohorts. And here we are today with a cohort 3. The uniqueness of the program and is the opportunity for startups to work with the help of personal mentors and have their support throughout the whole program. And the program does not require any equity. Investors, they do. Program, no. Yeah, you can. I like applause, so you can do that. All the time, just then you want to give applause or put your hands together, you can do it easily. Okay, so soon, very soon, you will see 8 most promising startups from the cohort 3, which we will present their, which didn't came here for the exam, but we came to announce you and to show you what we have created through those 3 months. And definitely we will need our support, our smiles to make them feel not being in the exam. Because then I came here, I saw all the time, like in everybody, and smiles, no smiles, no smiles. So I want to make them smile. Okay? Okay, so in total, 14 startups have completed the program, but we have selected 8 and invited here on the stage, if we call it stage, yes. So we have invited them here to present it to you. Based on overall performance and today pitching, top 5 startups will be selected and awarded. Do you know what prizes are? Everybody know? Yeah, so that's one more thing. Like you mentioned rules in the beginning. Later, like every day you mentioned the same rules. And startups, nobody told at the end. Yeah, definitely. Milda, could we involve that nobody into the team? Because maybe at that time already that nobody will tell to everybody, because now we are just repeating. Okay, so what you will get, those 5 selected and elected, right? So we are very, very happy that we will get co-financing for acceleration program in their chosen European country. And we have some partnerships already with German Entrepreneurship GmbH, Dublin's Trinity College Dublin, London's Imperial College London. No applause. Nobody wants to go there. Okay, I stopped talking about prizes. Nobody wants them. And Netherlands Preneurs Amsterdam, aim for the moon. Also, all those 5 startups will get co-financing for business trips. to international fairs, expos, meetings with potential business partners. Okay, they are fucked up already with accelerations. We want just to go to meet business partners already. Okay, so if you have an innovative idea and you want to join TechHub as well, but this time you missed the chance, and now you will see just what we have achieved, follow Meta social networks. Follow website information in the website, and you have a chance to be invited to the fifth cohort, because the fourth has already started just a few days ago. Actually, just a week ago, right? I'm looking at Aurelia. Okay, so what do we have on the menu today? Already just a few minutes, Carlos, I know that you wanted to be killed immediately instead of me talking and listening. Yeah, but just give me one more minute and I will give a stage for all of you. Okay, so what do we have on the menu today? First part, those 8 startups which are selected and invited here. You will pitch your ideas to investors. And we have our wonderful investors which will raise a lot of smart questions for you. So welcome Jonė Vaitulevičiūtė, General Partner at Startup Wise Guys Lithuania. Welcome Justinas Noreika, Chief Executive Officer of Vilnius University Foundation. And welcome Tomas Markūnas, Founding Partner at Iron Wolf Capital. Now, somehow I felt the fear in the ear. Thomas, you represent that, so please give me a smile. Yeah, but thanks, we have Jonė, so Jonė with us. Womanish, maybe emotion can at least bring something in the ear. Yeah.
She'll be talking.
After your pitches, we will have very interesting speech and on every interesting topic. We will hear a very intriguing and sexy truth about startup success. And it will be a keynote speech by productivity and performance coach Stoyan Yankov. Stoyan, here you are. Okay, we will invite him in 1 hour. After that, we will have a short panel or a short fireside chat, I would say, with 2 graduates from cohort 2. And we will hear how they are doing, how they attracted the investment. I'm looking to Jonė because as far as I know, you invested somehow in that couple, right? Yeah, so we will talk to them. Somebody told me that. Yeah. And at the very end already, we will announce who are those top 5. But before you start pitching and before I invite the very first startup, I want to tell you one more thing. We have created slido.com, #TechHub for sure. What a surprise. Go there, be active there, post your questions, and definitely we will ask all those questions, not all, the most voted questions to startups which are pitching. So be active. Not only investors' questions can reach startups, but yours. I'm looking to you because I hope you are watching us. Yours as well. Okay, guys. So I would like to invite the very first startup. You remember, right, that that 5 selected teams, we will get co-financing for acceleration in European Union. Irma, don't do it. Okay, and co-financing for going to all business meetings in Europe, right? Okay, let's get started. So, Irma, Gen for Gen. And as I'm all the time that the problem which Irma is solving and her team definitely is solving, that we somehow are connected everyone, and we will step to that target group one day, all of us. Okay, Irma, stage is yours.
I just want to check the mic. All good? Okay. Hi, my name is Irma, and I proudly present Gen for Gen. I'm sure you know anybody or a lot of people who are over 55, who feel lonely, who feel unwanted, who are excluded. Let me share my personal story of mine. My father, who you see in the picture, retired several years ago. He was excluded from the society in 24 hours. He got emotionally ill, and that really forced me to make a change. I'd call him and ask him to help me with my house, with my kids. I introduced to him new routine. Do you know that there is 1 billion people globally, like my father, and the number is doubling in 2050? We have a massive problem in European Union with 50% shortage in white-collar jobs. And this fact actually is backed up by that there is between 82 and 94% of discouraged job seekers are exactly in this age group. So we came up with a solution, a C2C and B2B two-sided digital marketplace. So how this works? Well, you need a project manager. You get on the platform, you pick up the senior, the best match is recommended by our engines, the project is managed successfully. You rate the service. So why we are so different? Yes, we are different. Because untapped spare capacity of seniors is monetized on one global platform. To match supply and demand using machine learning as a recommendation engine based upon user profile data and brain profiling. Our services are insurance-based, and we do sell trust and loyalty. Our market access is via existing societies in multiple countries. Of course, we have competitors, 4 of them, the nearest one, but none of them are like Gen for Gen. Most of them have inverse business model from us. There is 400 million economically active people. If we take 20%, our total addressable market is 80 million user market, which worth 96 billion euros. We have 2 revenue streams, C2C, which means 20% cut of revenue flow, B2B with the principle, try before you buy, which means while you are trying, we keep 20%. If a person is employed, we take 1 month's salary. So our ask here is 540,000 euros. However, we do ask 180,000 euros for 3 months in order for us to onboard our paying customers and scale fast. Based upon our customer acquisition cost and lifetime value, we estimate that we can return for investors 300%. We already have 60 users onboarded, and we actually are active and busy to match them manually. By the end of 2023, we are in Australia, Netherlands, Denmark, and Lithuania. Well, we are 2 internationally experienced, bulletproof co-founders who have experience in building businesses in corporates and startups for over 20 years. We are supported by the team of 6 from 4 different countries.
It's already time.
Thank you. Please join our ride. Be part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Irma. Dear investors, do you have some questions?
Does it work? Okay. So thank you, Irma. Very nice pitch. So very well done.
Thank you.
Maybe a very basic question, but just this 180 to onboard users, can you tell specifically the channels, how you will do it in the upcoming 3 months?
Yeah, actually, I didn't tell anything. I left some secrets for this session. Yes, we actually very busy validating the users and our several streamlines. So we have kind of wording, not in writing yet, but promise from 2 huge organizations, bureau and employment agency. That we'll do projects with them. So, I mean, we'll get the volume and we'll get the database, and we can, go with our list and match these people and quite quickly, basically. So these are 2 institutions we are talking to, and kind of continuing work. Also, what we want to do with bureau. We want to validate our algorithm and to check on the huge database basically how it works and what are the bugs. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for startup idea with a mission. Really making an impact here. However, usually the seniors who lack jobs, they usually lack skills that are needed to fulfill the jobs which are needed for today's society, for today's economy. And that 60 persons, users who you have already on board, how much percentage, in percentage terms, do you think you can actually match with the jobs which are needed? And how are you going to solve this problem? Are you going to train your users, or are you going to partner with some agencies who will train or transform their skills? How are you going to solve it? And what percentage are you actually trying to, aim?
Well, it's a very good question. And actually, we really discussed a lot about actually upskilling and reskilling. And this is a huge problem in Lithuania, and I do hear that a lot, especially from this employment agency. Basically, what we do, we have the 60 people who are in blue-collar jobs. And also we validated white-collar jobs. That's different revenue stream, kind of. So we already have 10 buyers who want to buy white-collar services. And these 60 people who are in blue-collar. So I'm sure that 70% of them will be matched. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for presentation. Good confidence, which is really, looks amazing coming out of you. I had a little bit more question. Looking at you, all those statements, artificial intelligence there so far, being honest. Yeah, I don't know why you need to build it now. Because for me, it seems to be that you need to search for the, product market fit. And so how to onboard customers, how to match them faster, and only then you can train the algorithm. So, in terms of priorities, maybe even it sounds like amazing, but for me, marketplace is very simple in general, yeah? And a lot of things can be done just manually. So my question is, where in terms of product you are now? Is it developed, or are you focusing in generally finding that business model for now?
Well, we do several things in parallel. Of course, our main thing is, now to really validate the business model, and that's what we are doing now, matching manually, actually. And we do believe that, first comes the business model, the validation. You can do that without technology. So we really follow this way. Our platform is already made 60%. The supply side is finished. We still need to work a lot on demand side. But when you go to the partner like Bureau, and they ask you, would you like to kind of validate and test your algorithm? Of course we want. So that's it's not like we came with this ask, but we have an opportunity actually to do that. But yes, first go first, and of course we are matching manually.
Yeah, you know, my question was in the relation, because there are a lot of approaches about fundraising strategy. At this point in time, I mean, maybe it's the angel or the accelerator round, and usually it's smaller. And then it's also, are you, you know, putting a chunk of money for the product development, or you just, you know, being very lean and you just focusing on finding, you know, how converts, which jobs, what's the best way to acquire those users, what's the best way to acquire the guys who want to hire those users. Yeah, so there are so many, I would say, agile ways which you need to focus. And if you start thinking about the product, how to do it, to find a machine learning specialist, it starts eating your time. So it's about focus. So therefore I'm saying that sometimes you don't need for investor to start giving false promises, yeah, about artificial intelligence, and just saying what you just said. And this makes sense for me, at least.
Well, I would totally agree, but our focus is really on the first part of your comment.
I do
So
not
that's
want
why
to be unpolite, but maybe you can chat afterwards. Just
Okay,
for
thank you.
not to give the whole stage just for you, because Carolis from Balenci is waiting for his turn. Like the first words which I heard when I entered the room, it was, please kill us immediately and just later you can tease. So, Carolis, stage is yours. And now he's sitting and looking like I need to repeat 3 times his name.
Right.
Ready?
Second. Hello, my name is Carlos Subuchas. I represent Balenci, virtual power plant, which allows industrial electricity consumers to additional revenue stream. So electricity flows from left to the right, from supplier through the power grid to the customer. But what happens when demand exceeds supply? Well, power grid usually purchases electricity from peaker power plants or other countries. But that solution is very pollutant and expensive. What if I told you that we can employ our industrial electricity consumers to help stabilize power grid? Balenci pools flexible electricity consumers who can reduce or increase electricity consumptions for a short period of time. How it works? Power grid asks us to reduce or increase electricity consumptions. We start our predetermined electricity consumption plan and help stabilize power grid with help of our industry consumers without interrupting any of their existing processes. The market for balancing power networks is $10 billion a year. In European Union, countries pay 1 billion euros a year, and Baltic states pays 10 million euros a year just to keep power grid stable. Business model is pretty straightforward. We actually share our revenue with flexible industrial electricity customers, and revenue stream can be up to 15% of their yearly electricity costs. We focus on flexible loads, fixed energy prices for customers, and flexible generation. Our team made of professionals in our field. I have over 5 years experience in energy and business development. I worked on major Lithuania energy projects. My co-founder, she has experience in automation and software development in international companies as Hella and Micromatic. Currently, these customers expressed interest in our solution, and we're working creating and monetizing their electricity consumption processes. We already acquired balancing license in Lithuania, and we're raising 250,000 euros to make this solution fully automated and secure for our customers and power grid. Thank you for your attention, and thank you, Mita, for TechHub.
Thank you. You still have 21 more seconds for questions. Do we have questions?
So thank you for presentation. Short, concise, straight to the point. What are the results of those your first traction and clients? I mean, what value add they got out of your product?
So currently, we are working a way of employing their process. So we're still getting into their automation systems and creating a solution. We still don't have fully working solution, but we're working on it.
Yeah, but okay. And
So
if you don't have now the result, the question like you modeled the impact for them. Like how does it look in terms of numbers? Like
So-
we spend, I don't know, 100,000. And using our solution, they will get something, and you'll get something. Can you just in few numbers?
So the industrial customer can get a revenue up to 15% of the value of their yearly electricity cost. So
let's
so
take one of your clients as an example, and
Okay.
can we just go through the numbers?
75,000 euros a year for a single customer.
For them.
For them.
And for you, it's 10,000 out of one customer, right? Okay, thank you.
What about the competition worldwide? Is it?
It is, right, it is, but most of competition actually, they focus on generation, not on flexible loads. So they employ not fully working power plants, but which is not working fully of its capacity. So let's say like a wood, like biofuel energy company is working 70% capacity, they monetize those 30% to give them 50% more of that 30%.
And how your product can be copied? Is it something like state of art, which really hard to copy?
I mean, everybody can, I believe, copy everything, but it's just automated solution for a code. So I mean, if you can hack a code, you can steal it, of course.
No, it's just about how defensible your startup would be, moving forward.
So, well, our most of defense would be a knowledge of an industry. So it would be easier for us to employ from experience of our previous customers. It would be easier to employ new customers instead of new players just coming in and learn how to do it, because some processes are not manipulated that easy.
And scalability, like how you can scale easily, because I understand it's also related with some licensing and other things.
So we can sell our solution as software as a service, but also it can be done remotely. So if we have, let's say, a Microsoft Teams meeting with one of a company, we can learn the processes. Technician can install our hardware, and we remotely can program it and employ their processes.
Do you need any license to go to another market or no?
Well, European Union, North America is fully, like legislation is already lifted, and other markets is also lifting it or planning to do it in the future because of emissions and renewable energy sources, the amount of renewable energy sources in general electricity systems. It causes major major problems for balancing systems and making them secure. Thank you.
And we have one more question from Slido.
All right.
What would you say are the main challenges you are facing?
Main challenges, customers. The challenge is to make customer believe that we're not going to destruct their factory, or we're not going to, make the products rot or something like that. So, yeah, that would be it.
Thank you, Karolis. Good luck. And now, I would like to invite very womanish startup, very personal, very unique, Ramunė Gvozdaitė from Nuance. Okay, applause to Ramunė and Nuances on the stage. Do we have time? And don't forget your smile.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Ramune. I am CEO and co-founder of Nuance. It is so hard to stay authentic in such a complex and messy world. Personalization today is needed more than ever. Enormous amounts of people use the same standard perfumes and do not even consider the impression we can create through the smell. The most powerful human sense out of 5. That's why the right perfume can inspire, enrich, and empower. Or can create uncompromised you in front of the others. Our solution is a private digital perfumer, disrupting traditional, slow, and expensive way of creating personal perfumes. We combine psychology, 5 senses, aromahology, and scent marketing to define the personality and match it with the right fragrances. AI and machine learning help us to predict the most powerful perfume formulas. Firstly, we are launching online solution to order personal perfumes, and then we will develop the device for your personal use at home. Around 60% of people use perfumes on a daily basis, and global perfume market grows by 1 billion euros every year, and mostly by unique and tailored fragrances. We already generate revenue both from B2B and B2C clients by creating personal tailored perfumes and while testing our MVP. And our margins are from 100 to 400%. Our competitive advantage is based on 5 senses methodology as the most powerful and direct way to make an impact on human brain. There are just a few startups creating personal perfumes using technology so far. That's why we should hurry up to the market. In our team, my driving force is my passion to perfumery. Valdas brings the most needed technology experience. All together, we are skilled, ambitious team with huge experience in different areas. Now we are in the phase of developing the prototype and validating it in the wider market. So investment will help us to grow much faster. Thank you for your attention, and you are welcome to visit Nuance Studio and enjoy creating your personal perfume.
Perfect timing, Ramuna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear investors.
Thank you for the pitch. Smile definitely helps, so good job. My question is, can you comment a little bit on the hardware part? How much do you base your business model on leasing it, selling it, and how far are you ahead with developing it?
Now we are more concentrating on online solution because it is our first step, as I already mentioned. But we already work with some kind of technology in perfumery as how we create perfumes now. So it will be not, I cannot say similar because we would like to do it better as it is now because our idea came seeing their gaps. So we would like to create a better one because that one doesn't have AI because somebody who has it have to know more things about perfumery and how they create perfumes. So it is not calculated exactly, we just have a plan to do it.
Okay, but just maybe in short, do you base your future, I don't know, success, unicorn status, whatever, more on the hardware or?
Both. Yeah, both. Yeah, both. Because you will be able to order your personal perfumes just on our platform and use them for, let's say, 3 months, 4 months, or subscribe for some seasons. But also you could buy the device and create personal perfumes for every day.
Okay. I would really recommend to dig in a little bit more on the hardware part. I think Thomas is good at explaining how difficult it can be to work with hardware, but it can consume majority of your future investment, so you have to be quite clear on where do you want to spend it. But thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for the pitch. I think, idea is powerful. At the same time, smell is also about smelling, which digitally really hard. And I like idea of blending with the hardware, and I believe like in the pop-up shops kind of, having it as a demo can really help to feel that change. Because I don't know, who is your digital persona, but for me it seems that this is like a small entrepreneur who can actually create the value add for his maybe small business which they own by leasing or whatever, getting that your device and then making it and then you supplying everything. So I would really consider that part, even though the hardware is really the quite a challenge. And at the same time, this is a big question on digitally. I'm just gonna mix few things. Some of the components probably I don't know how they smell, and then you mix those. I hardly can imagine how they can smell. Yeah, so you need to think about refund policy, which you say if you don't like it, we're gonna take it back. Yeah, so that can really help maybe to scale it if you have really good software which identifies myself. So I would try maybe if you're giving such a promise and see if that can do. So two things. One, focus if you're doing the hardware. So think about your ideal customer profile, because this is very important. Or maybe the Kickstarter campaign can really help for you to scale it, because this is like, it's powerful at the same time, for such a startup that can be a really good kickstart. And the second, in digital, think about the refund policy, which really can be the game changer of the people why they order.
Of course, thank you very much.
And I have a question about the softest part.
Okay.
You mentioned that everything is based on 5 senses.
Yes.
But all we know that there are 6 senses. So where you missed intuition, maybe it would answer Thomas' question.
Yeah, they 5 or 6 all together, they really help us, because now we create perfumes using sight like our sense, and I already see how much it helps and how clients are surprised how it works. So
But those everybody who are afraid that they do not smell, then they see
Because there
digital.
are 2 men in the team.
Communicate that intuition part, and that will sell. Okay, that was kind of a joke, actually.
yeah, and I have one good thing to say, because I'm interested in trends on perfumery. So the plan is that in 10 to 30, we will be able to smell the fragrance or scent through the internet.
I just have one question. Like, it is very powerful, as you know, in Amazon and in all other marketplaces, look-alike things, yeah? Even, in advertising. Will you be having it? Because I can name what I like, yeah? And I would like to try something. Does your algorithm or software takes that into account?
Just as a part of all.
Because just think about, then you'll be developing. This is like a, Vivino built like, all taste of the wine, and then based off the taste, they matching what you can do. So if you would become like the biggest database of the fragrances, that can be quite powerful, in general. So think about it, because I think lookalike is for people, for me to associate myself with my fragrance, which I use now, and then you say that I can improve it. It is very easy versus just say, tell your personality. Do you like this or that? And like, what I will get, like, it's similar to which one? And this is just having it, scraping it, just getting the data. It can be very powerful, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramune. I can't wait to try and to have my personal fragrances. And now I would like to invite Vytautas Želvys and Motion Trials. Okay, now we smell very good. And now that's the time for Timu, right? Yeah, of course. The stage is yours.
Thank you. I will just turn off this one. Okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, hello everyone. Nice to be here. Nice to be here. And today we're gonna speak about sports and especially speed. And we're Motion Trials. I'm Vytautas, as one of the co-founders. And we believe that equipment in sports should be for every athlete, not only for professionals. And the problem is now that all the people and many athletes and sport enthusiasts struggle to improve their speed while preventing injuries. That's one important thing. And the main problem is that nowadays tools are very complicated to use and only for professionals. So this is the setup of ordinary system, which is available only for professionals because it's very expensive. So it's basically difficult to operate, and it takes much space, and it's very expensive, and it's difficult to operate because the setup time is like 10-15 minutes, and in training you need to be fast. And our solution, it's based on different way. It's simple to use. It's thinking about the consumer. So basically, it's a connection between software and hardware. And being simple is the number priority for us. It works in a similar way, but it requires less hardware. Basically, 2 sensors, or even with 1, you can go and test yourself or your athletes. So basically, it's easy to set up. We have very simple charts to read. You can press the button and see the charts and identify if the athlete is doing progress or not. And of course, it's affordable for regular athletes, not only professionals, speaking about kids and everyone else. So our goal, how we go to market, is like 2 separate roads, basically creating a demand and being available on the store. So basically, we're planning to go through retail. We plan to have like up to 40% margin for them that the product would be interested to sell. And of course, the other part is creating the demand. So basically, we're planning to build a community around our brand and around the solution. Now we're in the final steps of building the scalable prototype, meaning that we just invest in manufacturing equipment and we can go with production. And then we have 4 simple steps: the protecting our IP, and of course going to testing with Lithuania because the technology is quite new, it's different, and go further. We have pro team. We have 5 people here who's working with hardware, software, marketing, and product design. So we have total like more than 50 years experience combined. That's quite a joke, but you know, it's reality. And we have our partners who's helped us develop the technology. And we're raising for 250,000 to cover all these areas, basically, finish the development and going to market.
And now you have a time to stop.
And thank you. We are Motion Trials. I'm open to your questions.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm quite into sports, and it's really interesting, even though there are so many questions raising in my head that I don't know even where to start. First thought, you have to think, I believe, what will be your client? Will it be the sportsmen themselves, or will it be some clubs or associations or teams which will somehow combine them and split that cost, which you will be selling? So I guess you will have the answer. I'm not sure in what sports are you focusing on. Is it only sprinting, or is it also team sports, or where do you also have to be fast?
Thank you for the question. That's an amazing question. That's really core of this product. So, yeah, we're focusing not only on like athletics. The speed is needed in all kinds of sports. It's like a common denominator in like football, basketball, baseball, American football. Like, you know, in team sports also is the main goal. And speaking about our target audiences, that's a really good question, because there's some sport organizations, there are athletes, there's coaches who depends on the sport organization. So now we have a plan, because these professional tools are not available on retail. So basically we're planning, if we're going to retail, make it like affordable and then creating the marketing strategy that working with sports organizations, with clubs. Through them, we want to go, and connect those things and make the product sell. Yeah.
I see you have sold 10 units. Can I buy one, and when can I test it?
Okay, thank you for the question. The story is very simple. When we tested those concept prototypes at first, and then because I needed to test the needs, so I just picked my phone, called the Vilnius Sports Center, the director, not director, like manager, and he was like, he invited me, and we spent like an hour. I presented the concept, the prototype, not working prototype, it was like a concept prototype, and he said, yeah, we were thinking to having some kind of equipment like that for their coaches, because there's like 30 athletics coaches they have, and we would really interested to buy like 10 of them, and now we're like in the negotiation to closing the deal, because they cannot buy. We can only do, because their organization, like, how you say it, vieša.
Yeah. I think it's quite clear.
So
but
we made like this not a sell, but as a, how you call it? Yes, a service. Yes.
Okay.
So basically trying to
Yeah.
unit, because.
But maybe my question is, I'm very interested. So can I buy it as like from my bank?
No? I can show us the prototypes.
Okay. And the first use will be next year, May.
Yeah, I'm planning to provide those 10 units until Christmas for them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's optimistic.
Okay. Cool.
Add one more. It will be 11, and for one, Jone will pay.
Yeah, I would really. This is I wanted to offer.
Okay,
I think
one
this
more,
is-
I think. Okay, so we.
No. I'm not in running, so no need for me. Thank you. Question from my side: how big is the market?
Now we're planning to analyze the UK and Germany, because they're very advanced in sports. Basically, if you look at the results at the Olympics, they're top 2 countries from the history-wise. And we identified from Statista and Sports UK that there's about 10 million people who do speed-based sports, not endurance sports, no marathon, no running, only endurance team sports. So we identified like that, generally 10 million, but I cannot say, what's the exact numbers. That's the point of that. So we're launching that. We launched actually the test web version, and we're trying to get into the market.
No, but look, one is collecting statistics, another, you can collect and look at the Google searches and other instruments, just to have a grasp. Because now I see, and I mean, good, some people are in the running. I have no clue how many of such a people, and then you need to calculate how many of them potentially could buy, and then, for me, it's clear how big is this business. Because now I think this is a missing part currently in your business. The second, in terms of go-to-market strategy, I don't understand why US is only in 2023. I think that this is the market you need probably to start with even.
Yes.
But this is my view, yeah. So if you go, you test it, just go aggressively. So unless you need separate certification, which might be a case, and that might take longer, which might be a case, yeah.
It is a case, actually, because going to the States, you need FCC certification. It's different from CE.
Yeah, but it's like, if you have Europe, it's like 2 months. It's not a year. It's like 2-month process.
Usually 4 months. In practice, shows me we're working now. So basically, for Europe, you need CE. That's why I picked only UK and Germany. But of course, US is number 1.
Okay, clear. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Vytautas actually just asked everybody to raise the hand who would like to give for Christmas for their relatives. And then you can sell maybe 20 or 30 units. Thank you a lot. And now I would like to invite one more team. Actually, usually, as I'm so lucky and participate in a lot of hackathons, boost camps, and different events for startups, and mentoring there. So this team I met like a bit more than a year ago, and they are still pitching the same idea, and they are still working on the same, despite they are pretty young. So I'm very happy to invite the team Be Bright and Matas Vichus to present us what revolution he sees in education.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Stage is yours.
Okay. Okay, 1 second. And yeah, let's get this show on the road. Dear jury, I'm Antas, the CEO of BeBright, a team focused on edtech solutions. So let's talk about the biggest problem in education. Teachers are very busy people. They have too many pupils to work with each individually, and therefore individual needs are not addressed. In fact, 67% of students' needs are never identified in school. In Lithuania, the result is that 15 to 30% of students fail math exam every year. Our solution to this is an online learning platform called Licėjus. We determine the student's level of math and generate a personal learning pathway with interactive videos and hands-on learning content. This is important because math is structured in layers. If you miss one and accumulate a gap, it's really difficult to progress further. But we identify these layers and create a personal pathway to fill in the gaps to lead to academic success. So how does it work? Well, firstly, the student takes a test. The platform quickly evaluates how the student knows their math. Then a personal learning pathway for every single math topic is generated. And then the student can choose how he wants to learn. Finally, the student can access quality math content with original video lessons and tests that provide constant feedback about the student's success. If a student struggles with any math problem, then he gets a suggestion video that explains exactly that type of problem. In addition to all that, students learn hands-on with interactive simulations. Now, Licėjus is a perfect solution for schools and municipalities. In addition to learning features, schools have also student tracking abilities, teacher monitoring dashboards, and others. That's why we're currently in talks with a private school and have finalized a pre-sale deal with the Kaunas region municipality. We'll be selling our platform to forward-thinking municipalities, ensuring a yearly income which will allow us to expand our product to the world for individual students as a solution for additional school learning. And individual students will benefit from our product because we'll offer this list of features to them. Now, here you can see the business model for acquiring the student market. Main takeaway, we use a subscription-based pricing model. Our initial audiences will be students in grades 9 to 12, and this is the market size in Lithuania, but we'll pursue 5th and 8th grade students as well in the future. By charging upwards from €39.99, we'll be able to have a monthly revenue of €900,000 in 2 years following the launch of the product to the students market. By expanding our product to Poland, we expect almost 7 times the revenue without even capturing half of the market projected to capture in Lithuania. Now, this is possible because of these numbers of high school students in the country. We simply are the right team for this. Our leadership is from young entrepreneurs passionate about education. Our content creators are teachers in the most prestigious Lithuanian schools, authors of modern textbooks, and tutors of international Math Olympiad prize winners. Our advisor board provides invaluable insights into edtech and business. And also the ask. Well, this is our ask, and are you ready for the renaissance of education?
Are you ready?
Are you? I'm ready for some questions, guys.
Good. Very energetic presentation. Very happy about it. How does the competition looks for the apps like you?
So if we're talking about Lithuania, there isn't a solution compared to ours. There are competitors who, well, the private tutors are competition.
No, but I mean like Prodigy. There are like tons of math apps. It's like tons of math apps, which is like
well, one of which would be Brilliant.org, which focuses on mathematics worldwide. But their main takeaway is they don't have video lessons and they do not approach a personal learning pathway for every student. So it's just general math and. There isn't a solution in Europe that we see that does something similar to us because we target specifically that country which we enter the market. They're learning a curriculum for maths, and then we personalize our curriculum to their mathematics. That's why we're different from any others.
Why are you starting from Lithuania? Like, really, you know, the math is one of those, you know, parts where actually, you know, the same all across the globe. I agree with you that probably, you know, what we learn in 9th grade, maybe in UK it's going to be in the 8th grade or, you know, vice versa. But like the essence is the same. So think about from that angle. If I'm the investor, you're gonna invest most of the money you're raising to the country, which is a shithole. Like, it's like there is no payback period for that country. I would rather invest in you learning and creating the content in English, which can be scalable in another, I don't know, 20, 30 markets. Even if you fail in one, I know that you can twist it, the product, and go to another one. So just think about it. Then I understand your love, and I love Lithuania, and I understand your love for Lithuania and for education.
It's not only for the love. Well, let's talk realistically in the numbers that we can see here. In Lithuania, we can reach 6 million in two years. Like, if we go the B2G model, we can reach all of the municipalities and have a huge chunk of money, which we can then use for expansion to other markets. Why we chose Lithuania? It's a good starting point for us for now, because we already have made a deal with the Kaunas region municipality. We already have investment that we can further enhance our product, and then we'll go to the market at September 2022. This is going to happen, so we're just looking for extra investment so we can launch the product, scale it more in Lithuania, so we can reach all of the B2G model and maybe B2C models for acquiring students individually, because that's the main point, that we want to expand to the Polish market. So talking about money, there is money in Lithuania here, but our main goal is to go to Poland, then create a universal attraction for the English or other markets by GCSE for British, SAT for America and also Australia and so on and so forth. But we're into personalization. If we want to personalize and take the whole market, we have to assign our map to the country's curriculum.
Small question. Do you have anyone in your team who did business in Poland?
Yes, our advisor, as we can see here, Angelika Rusteikienė, she's at Tech Lithuania here, and she has various people inside Poland which will help us to go to that market. So we already reached out to several people in Poland, so we can scale there. So yeah, and we have Polish teachers in Lithuania that we can work on the curriculum, so we do not need to go to Poland to film and to do all of the testings and the system. We can already do it here locally. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mantas.
One more question?
One more. Okay, we do not have time.
Just maybe not a question, but an advice. Such a tutoring platforms are not new. Like many years ago, many people tried to create it, but for some reasons, many of them failed to scale to the level they expected. So my advice to really do lots of homework and share that energy you have on that stage into that homework to analyze what sort of challenges they faced so that you don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
And maybe approaching all IB schools, that would be the solution.
Yeah.
IB schools are in all over the world the same, right?
Yeah, we have for Cambridge Assessment Education Program specialists to help us expand to the GCSE, as we mentioned in SAT. So yeah. So,
thank you, Mantas.
Thank you.
And now I would like to invite one more pretty young team, which is going through the same way, like more than 1 year is pitching the same idea and building the same product. And okay, it's not Vadim who is going to pitch. I tried to learn, okay, tell your name yourself then.
My name is Mykolas.
Because Mykolas, I am always mixing all of you. All pretty similar. Here's just changing. One is longer, another is shorter. So, and Yufi, so your stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Have you ever been waiting for a waiter in the restaurant for 5, 10, 15, 20, or even more minutes? Well, of course you have. After contacting the restaurants and their clients, we have excluded the main problem, that restaurants are losing the potential to earn more money because of a slow ordering process. That's why we have come up with a perfect solution, virtual menu platform for restaurants that can be accessed by the customers through NFC tags placed on each of the restaurant table. Yufi brings adventure and joy to the industry that hasn't changed for decades. How does it work? Well, we install an NFC tag on each of the restaurant table. Customer simply touches the NFC tag with a phone and virtual menu appears in the browser. Then customer can view the dishes, order them, and pay in just a few taps. For the restaurants, we give them higher traffic and more revenue, provide with customers anonymous data, update the menus in real time, and give them the returning customers. There are more than 4,000 catering establishments in Lithuania, although we mainly focus on pizza, burger, and business lunch restaurants. Our business model is B2B and is based on monthly subscription plans. All of the plans vary in their price, amount of features, and amount of information provided. We did a competitors analysis and we found out that we stand out in the market by using innovative NFC technology, personalized menus. We are open network and we're the only one that provides customers anonymous data. For advertising, we plan to use 2 different campaigns. So to reach the restaurants, we plan to use direct communication through social media and calling centers. And to reach the restaurant customers, we're going to use social media, information stands on the tables, and there will be other internal ways of restaurant advertising. Our biggest achievement so far is that we already have a fully working MVP, and we are about to launch in Kaunas Botsmano Terasa. We also have started a partnership with the biggest kitchen order management platform, Keeper. As we understand that waiters regulate the waiting time for the customers, we plan to add such features like reward system for the customers who wait a specific amount of time waiting for their food with Eufy. Also ordering food without physically being in the restaurants and leaving tips for the waiters. In the future, we also plan to patent the idea and trademark and scale into local and foreign markets. We already have participated and won a lot of hackathons and bootcamps and other events. And this only happened because of our awesome team. And with Eufy, let the restaurant revolution begin.
Thank you, Mykolas.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Maybe you can briefly comment if you've learned anything from others who tried to do this, but they didn't.
Okay, so first of all, we're using the innovative NFC technology that's actually new in food tech. All of those things that was a challenge to the previous ones, was that they were the closed network, and we are open network. We also have started a partnership with the kitchen order management platform, Keeper. And as we know, nobody has done it.
Okay.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, we have one company similar to this in our portfolio. It was not mentioned among competitors, so now I'm a little bit scared. But yeah, and also at the same time, I will just use the opportunity to say thank you because I'll have to run because the competition is running a little bit late. But I'll come back with my votes via email. So
With your investment proposals?
Probably, yes. So thanks a lot. So just
thank you, Jone, a lot for joining us. So applause to Jone because she's leaving. And Thomas' question.
Yep. My question, if I would hear your idea 2 years ago, it looks innovative. Now in most of the restaurant, I find it, QR code, which opens mini page, let's call it mobile page. What's the value at? I mean, that page, I can do it on Wix, Zero, whatever platform, which cost me, I don't know, 10 euros per month. QR code I can get for free, which is kind of opens that. I mean, why need you?
Okay, so first of all, a lot of restaurants use the QR codes. We often see it. What do they open to is PDF files. They download the menu. What we are, Eufy is a virtual menu platform. That means it has servers and there are profiles. So customers have personalized profiles in which they receive the personalized offers. And for restaurants, we help them manage all of the traffic.
Okay, kind of grasp your idea, but okay, I have my reservations.
Thank you for the question.
More like a personal question. I saw a junior achievement logo right there. Are you still students at high school? Or?
Okay, so I'm 17, Ben also 17, Ernesto is 17, and Vadim is 19.
Big applause. Do we have more questions? Okay, I have one which is from slido.com. How can your business could be affected by a pandemic situation?
Okay, so we look into pandemic as a opportunity to us, since our platform is COVID-19 friendly, as it don't need any kind of contact with the waiters.
Okay, so you see as an opportunity, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you a lot, Mykolas.
Thank you very much.
And now I would like to invite one more startup on the stage, Algis Karpavičius, and present your sprindus.
Do I control the screen or not? Oh.
You have your presentation already.
Hello, everybody. My name is Algis Karpavičius, and today I would like to present you Spindy Natural Upright. Due to fast technologies development, we became reachable all the time and everywhere. Before work, at work, and after work, we are using smartphones, tablets, and computers. And this puts heavy load to our bodies because it did not adapt to this fast technologies development. And it causes various problems and illnesses, such as head pain, back pain, and indigestion. And over the time, this gets even worse. And it's estimated that in the US, for back pain relief, spendings raises up to 86 billion US dollars. And our solution is a pendant or hairpin-looking device that blends with your outfit when you are wearing it. It monitors your posture and provides with intuitive feedback to you, while at the same time adjusting to your habits with machine learning algorithm. The data from the device is transferred to smartphone, and on the app you can monitor your posture, track your progress, and get personalized exercises recommendations. And MVPs already there. Our clients, through this project, we did many surveys, and we identified that we would like to help two types of clients. Working people like ourselves that are spending long hours in front of the computers, and children because they're unaware about their bad posture, which will lead them to bigger problems in the future. Our business model, we will monetize through device and subscriptions, and distribution will be based through medical physicist recommendations and also through distributors channels such as Argos and Decathlon and others. We have absolutely competitors in the market. However, we distinguish ourselves by targeting more smart jewelry, such as hairpin and neck pendant looking devices. Available market, we are referring to, let's say, broader picture, such as fitness trackers that are going up to $17 billion in US. In EU, we see that some could be around 2 million, but we would like to eat elephant in pieces, so we would start from Lithuania or from EU, starting from Lithuania, then going to Germany and US. Our team consists of 3 people: Darius, who has more than 10 years in finance experience, then Professor Darius, who has more than 20 years experience in electronics and metrology, and Algis, who has more than 10 years experience in electronics and mechatronics development. We are fundraising for 150,000 euros for 1 year R&D. That would bring us to MVP 1 and mass production and worldwide shipping. Join us and have impact for health. Thank you.
Thank you for presentation. I used to launch a similar startup, but without the hardware, just the software running on AI. So, you know, I'm quite familiar with that. Seeing what you have done, you know, it's really going to be hard for you to fundraise for the R&D. Let's be very honest, yeah? So you need either to go through the grants programs, or to do something with the marketing and Kickstarter. This is just my recommendation, you know, to save your time and not to go, or maybe you'll find some, you know, smart business angels. But This is one. The second, you need really to think about your ambition. Because looking at the first and second year projection, it's not fundable startup also. It's like really very small. So you need, uplift ambition in terms of numbers, because if you will come to the venture capitalist with such a numbers, then it is no go also. Yeah. So keep those two things in mind. Other than that, it's a great thing you're developing. So hopefully you're gonna succeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the startup, which again can have an impact for our health. You said that you have an MVP already, so I'm wondering what status it is, how efficient actually, how efficient data it generates. I mean, because usually it requires a lot of R&D resources in order to develop such a device which would like really work in a way it should. And another question, you mentioned that you already potential distributors, Decathlon and Argos. Do you have any agreements with them, or is it just an example that you might be selling through?
That's a good question, and regarding the MVP status, so we have like hardware done because we, as you saw, we have experience in really close, let's say, area. So that's why we did it. So devices not very big, but also not as small as we would like to. So that's why we need R&D, and the main target for R&D is sizing it down, so to make it smaller. And so device can communicate over Bluetooth, but mainly what it does, so it provides you with, let's say, tactile feedback to your body, depending on your neck position. Because we also talked with some doctors, and they mentioned that your body, the posture of your body also depends on your neck. So that's why we monitor it. And the second question was? Distributors? Yeah, distributors. So it's a good question. So we did, let's say, some homeworks, and we saw that we might be able to reach to a person that is, let's say, nearby and has experience in these areas, how to go through these distributors. So that would be my answer, because right now we don't have contracts with them, but we might be able to reach them. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Algis, a lot. And now we have the last but not least startup on stage, Shop by Stock. And I invite Lina Adomavičiūtė-Fledžinskienė. Okay, even being Lithuanian, for me, it's difficult to pronounce your surname. So as you changed your idea being here and your product, so now think about changing your surname if you go international.
Okay. Hello. My name is Lina, and I have a question for you. Did you ever spend time searching for a specific item online, click after click, page after page, thinking, here it is. Then click, and bam, sorry, we are out of stock. Well, you try again, and again, and again. Well, like there's nothing more on your hands, right? People are not satisfied when they cannot buy, when they intend to. People get frustrated when they see vain search results. And they're definitely not coming back to those websites and telling their friends about it. We create an add-on, or extension, if you will, for customers to shop, for customers to see search results as they search, to see which items are in stock. We want to offer a focused, time-saving, and stress-free online shopping experience. Our solution is based on API, and 2 awesome team members are working on it. Even though online retail market is huge, we target for early adopters of game console market, which with these early adopters is $2 billion per year in Europe. We aim for this target group because they are very valuable users to validate the solution. They already use all kinds of software and are eager to try the new ones. Our business model is based on affiliate and subscription for extra filters, like location, shipping costs, alerts, and etc. As we reach the desirable number of 10% of that target market, those early adopters, with 1% of affiliate and a $10 subscription fee per year, we see the numbers like more than $10 million per year. Our competition offers kind of poor solution for this pain. They offer alert if you register for each item separately. And that kind of creates a future-oriented shopping experience. What we want to focus on present and offer a buyer as they search to see which items are actually in stock. The milestones we want to hit. Of course, you can see numbers, but what we are working on is an MVP. We want to test it and validate the solution.
Time.
And this is an amazing team which is working on this product. Thank you. You're welcome to join.
And the time for questions, just a very, very quick announcement. Don't be scared that we will turn off the screen because Monica told it's not over, but we need to prepare Stoyan for this screen.
I will just...
Okay, so dear investors, the time is yours.
Yeah, thanks for the
now.
presentation. Who is your customer profile?
We should say about the user, firstly, who will be using the basic packages that they will see which items are in stock. They become customers and they get...
No, but user journey. Who is your customer?
Our customer is an online shopper, and we see the opportunity to go to the B2B and offer in their business web pages the extension.
And in my business web pages extension, what you're going to improve versus other suppliers offering search solution?
Usually, there are no possibility to search by in stock, and somehow you end up with the items that are out of stock, even when...
No, but it's just adding filter. Look, it just, like there are a lot of suppliers of that, and it's just about adding filter that don't show. There is no rocket science.
I know, but there isn't one. Usually, you cannot filter the items just in stock.
No, look, I hear you. I'm just saying that, I used to be in the board of Pigu. Like, you have two ways. Sometimes you miss item, so you just still show and you just can reserve for later, as you say, or you just don't show it. I mean, therefore, you don't have such a filter. So this is like very simple as that. And then for me, it's like usually you're right. The people go in Google and they open one site, another site, third site. So this is their usual experience. Then where you appear, why should I install you?
We appear because you will see like a pop-up
Okay. Oh, probably I need to see to understand it better. But okay.
We're still working on the solution, how it could look like, and testing all kind of possibilities.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for, for different approach here, and there is clearly a frustration when you selected the product and it's out of stock. However, I was wondering while we were presenting if I would get more frustrated if I'm not shown the product I would really like to order, and if it will be available within 5 days, for example. So perhaps in some situations I would rather wait for a few days than to select a product I don't really love. So perhaps you might offer some options, available now in stock, available within 5 days, or some other solution which might also solve that issue. Also, I was wondering, have you done a survey for your potential customers, whether they would like to have product and for what price?
Thank you for the questions. To answer your first one, yes, we also see that there's a great opportunities to add extra features like you can, the extension can run the web and just alert you as the item goes back in the stock. And of course, there is a lot of opportunities to add all kinds of features. To answer your second question about the server, we don't have the exact number. We came to Spain after doing multiple interviews about the online shopping experiences, and we just saw this thing that's coming up. So we don't have exact numbers. Thanks for the idea.
Thank you, Luna, a lot. So, all 8 are done. I just want to remind you that out of those 8 pitches, 5 teams will be invited and will get prizes for acceleration in European Union, and we will get co-financing for that, as well as co-financing for business trips to other countries. Guys, we all love to hear stories how being entrepreneur is cool, how one more startup is emerging the market, how one more unicorn will appear here in our countries, right? And we really hear how amazing is the life of being entrepreneur. We share it on social medias and etc., etc. But Stoyan Yankov is inviting us to take a pause and to hear what really means and what does it take or not from your life for to build the real long-term lasting startup and successful business. Stoyan Yankov is a productivity and performance coach and the co-author of the book, Perform, The Unsexy Truth About Startup Success. Together with Cristobal Alonso, CEO Startup Wise Guys, Stoyan specializes in coaching organizations and entrepreneurs. And since 2015, has helped over 300 companies to create more productive and mindful team cultures. Stoyan, the stage is yours, the screen is yours actually, and we really hear you. So share that real and unsexy truth about how to make successful companies. We want to learn from you.
Thank you so much. I can imagine this is Simona. I'm not sure. I only see my face. So first of all, thanks so much for the invitation and really excited to be here with you guys. Congratulations for the demo day. But let me just go into my slides since we have a lot to cover. And thank you for a great introduction. Indeed, everybody's talking about unicorns and billion-dollar valuations and all those kind of things. And it's really, really cool. It is really amazing. It's great that we're talking about these kind of things. But I want to give you a perspective on the unsexy truth about startup success, or basically a little bit of attention on the things that are not so sexy at the first place, but actually could give us a chance, a bigger chance to be successful as entrepreneurs. And my journey, and if you don't mind, I will mute you guys because I hear some voices. Let me know otherwise on the chat. My journey began over 10 years ago as an entrepreneur. And when I started on my journey, this is how I saw myself. And I guess many of you have seen yourself the same way. When you're a founder, when an entrepreneur, you're your own boss, right? It is super, super cool. You see the whole picture. You have the power with your message, with the thing that you do to create products that are making a world a better place. And it's super, super cool. Simone already shared, right? You go, you post on Instagram, you go to demo days like this, you go to conferences, present your startup. It's amazing. It is super, super cool. Now, I've spoken to hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs on my podcast, coaching hundreds of companies, being an entrepreneur myself, and I hear a very similar answer. When I ask people, what is entrepreneurship all about? This gentleman here is coming from Romania. He's a co-founder of a company called FinTech OS. They recently raised 60 million in a funding round. And that's what his answer was. The everyday life of an entrepreneur is digging a muddy trench. There's little, very little glamour. This is pretty much the answer of every entrepreneur that's been on the market for a long enough time. All the successful entrepreneurs, we look at those pictures and we're like, oh, this is amazing. You know, these 5-10 companies that are really making it, you know, Facebook, Spotify, LinkedIn, I'm going to be one of them. Amazing. This is great. We need to have great ambitions, right? But many of you have seen statistics like this. Less than 1 out of 10 companies is going to be still operating in just 4 or 5 years of being on the market. Less than 10%. Doesn't mean that they're unicorns, doesn't mean they're making money. It only means that they're going to be still operating. 1 out of 10. So what do we do? How do we change the odds for that? First of all, it comes down with changing our mindset and the perspective, right? This is what entrepreneurship is. Especially the first few years. You're starting your company, you're basically running into the jungle, right? The jungle is really abundant, it is really a place full of opportunities, but the first few years, it's really about survival. How do I secure the basics? How do I make sure that we have cash flow so we can keep running until we find the product market fit, until we build the fundamentals of a great team? So in few years, we'll have a chance to actually thrive. We have a chance to get this market share. And this is the kind of mindset, you know, focusing on the long run. I myself, and my background is coming from movie production. So I did my master's degree in finance in Denmark, and I became a movie producer. And this is what really fascinates me, and I'll share some ideas today with you. As a movie producer, one of the main jobs I had was to maximize our own resources. When you're producing any kind of video or movie, you're always behind budget, and you're always behind time, and you're always behind people. So how do I deliver the results? How do I make the movie I want to make? And as an entrepreneur, you do the same thing. Every single day, you have certain targets and results you got to achieve. How do we maximize our output on a consistent basis, building the culture we want to build? So my story continued. I've been organizing exclusive mastermind experiences. I've been traveling, you know, with a pause of 18 months around Corona, but back again, traveling and sharing some of the learning, some of the lessons, specifically in these areas, being really passionate about culture, about building things for the long run. And I want to mention the long run specifically. I'm going to keep getting back to it. Everybody's looking for the 5 steps to build this thing, the 7 steps to, there's no 5 steps, guys. It is hard work, and it's about consistently performing in the areas that matter most. I had the chance to interview for my podcast Joe Foster, the founder of Reebok, which at some point was #1 sports brand in the world. A really, really great guy. He has a new book. You got to check it out. And one of the things he kept repeating is, you got to be ready for the long run. What they did in Reebok is it took them 20 years to finally make it. 20 years of 70, 80-hour weeks, of being consistently doubtful. Is it going to work? What is this thing? They failed 6 times to make it to the American market and finally kind of break through. So it's a really long-term journey. And that's something I share in common with Cristobal, as Simona just introduced him as well. He's the El Patron, or the CEO of Startup Wise Guys. We've been working closely for the last 5 years, and what we were fascinated about is what is the companies and the founders that are actually doing well, doing different than the others. He had a chance to, with Startup Wise Guys, invest in more than 250 companies. I've been coaching many of them, traveling the world, meeting some of these guys, and really asking the questions. Okay, there are many people who have great product. They're great in marketing, in sales, in tech. But what about the people side? How do you guys build your team? How do you build a culture? And Startup Wise Guys have been doing actually quite well in that regard. It's the biggest startup accelerator in Europe at the moment, and B2B at least. And the survival rate is over 80% of the startups, so 8 times more. And you guys, I'm sure that the survival rate is way, way bigger than 10%. But then again, what are the things that really matter that we not always pay attention to? Let me introduce you to the Perform methodology, the Perform framework. And by the way, this has been already implemented by over 300 companies successfully. It is not a rocket science, but I want to introduce you to some of the areas that usually get neglected because we're too busy doing the business. But what if we start paying more attention to these areas? P, purpose and values. Is everybody clear why do we do what we do? Do we have an alignment in between each other as co-founders? And what about the team? Does the team know why we do what we do? Have we taken the time to talk about what are the values, what are the principles, what is the way we do things? What is the vision? What do we want to achieve at the end of the day? Effective planning. Setting goals. Do we have a system for strategic goal setting? How often do we go to offsites to reflect and say, hey, where are we going? What are the most important objectives? Is everybody clear what their priorities are in order for us to reach these objectives? And then bringing it into the day-to-day. How do we manage our time day-to-day? Do we have systems, do we have methods in order for us and the team to produce the results that matter most? Roles and responsibilities. I gotta say, this is the most neglected area. Initially, we were just looking for a letter, for R. We had all the letters. This is amazing. Okay, we need an R. Let's put roles and responsibilities. Okay, really? Who cares about roles and responsibilities? I mean, everybody knows what their role is, right? Maria is the CEO, Michael is the CTO. We gotta be clear. In reality, very few companies take the time to consider what are the commitments and responsibilities that come to me? And are we putting passion into the equation? I'm gonna do this and this and this. Yeah, but do you like to do it? I have a master's degree in finance. I'm pretty good in finance and budgeting. I don't necessarily like to do it. But if I don't talk to my team, if I don't talk to my co-founders, I wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. And I'm gonna be doing something I don't wanna do. How excited am I gonna be about that? I'm gonna share with you some specific tools that can help you to make some small tweaks, but can make a big difference. Focus on execution. One thing is to be having great goals and objectives, but it's a completely different thing to remain focused. Founders are notorious about wasting time, procrastinating, jumping around and doing a lot of things. How do we stay focused on the 2 or 3 things that matter most? And we focus on execution and speed as opposed to trying to make things perfect. Optimal energy, an area I'm going to speak about today. A little bit of common sense, right? Optimal energy. How do you stay at the top of your game? I keep on seeing again and again, the second most neglected, after roles and responsibilities, the second most neglected area, optimal energy. Oh man, I haven't been sleeping for 2 months, Why are you not sleeping? Oh, oh, we're just so busy, man. But I sleep 4 hours. Okay. Do you think that's good for your business? Do you think that's sustainable for you in the next 5 to 10 years for you to build a great company? And you as a leader, you guys have the responsibility. If you're not taking care of your energy, sleeping well, eating well, taking breaks, mentally, physically, emotional well-being, how do you expect your team to be taking care of their energy? There's no way, right? But we neglect it because, we have a deadline, we have this pitch to do, and so on and so forth. Robust communication, your internal communication. How often, how frequently do you talk to each other? Do we have systems that are effective so we don't over-communicate? We also speak about the things. How often do we give each other feedback? Mental toughness. I'm going to share a few things about mental toughness today as well. Our capability to deal with stressors. Building up the mental toughness. Right? On the one side, decreasing the amount of stress that's coming to the team. And on the other side, increasing our capability when things go to hell. How do we act? How fast do we focus back on solution mode? So let's start with the first one, purpose and values. It's a very interesting one, and it's really about defining the culture. Your culture is your operating system, right? All these systems work. Now, some of you might say, I love Mac. Some of you might say, I hate Mac. I'm a Windows fan. Great. But they're both working well. There's no good or bad type of culture. There's different type of cultures, but at the end of the day, they can all work. You can be the loose guys with the t-shirts that are doing things very chill, or you can be the guys with the suits and the way you do things is very formal and they can both be very successful. But what is it? What is the culture that you want to build? Because the thing is, you're going to have culture no matter what. The question is, do you take the time and the effort to intentionally design the culture as opposed to letting it happen by itself, right? So when do we have to take these conversations? And you guys are having a demo day right now, but day one is the right time to start deciding on values and crafting the culture you want your startup to have. This is the founder and CEO of Miro, who's been growing fantastically well during the pandemic. Over 1,000 employees. The guys are smashing it right now. I asked him, when should we talk about it? And he was straightforward to the question, day one. And this is what most successful founders I met and I interviewed would tell me. Of course, man, day one. Now, it doesn't mean you have to formalize the culture on day one. Maybe you are 2 people now, or 3 or 5. And you kind of know what the values are. You kind of know what the purpose of the company is. But you need to have discussions. You need to talk to your co-founders and discuss, hey, where do you want to be 5 years from now? How do you see us evolving from here? If everything goes by plan, what is our boldest vision 5 years in the future? What do we have to do to get there? How do we want to be behaving? And this is an oversimplification, but I think it's a really good starting point. If you haven't had the chance to discuss these kind of things, I highly recommend you to have a good starting point in there. Purpose, why do we do what we do? Values, how? What are the principles? What are the things that we value and prioritize when we take decisions? And vision. If you close your eyes and you imagine 5 years, 10 years in the future where the company is, what do you see? How many people work for you? What are your business results? What is your office? What are the customers that you serve? What do you want to achieve? Is everybody from the team clear what the vision is, right? So let me give you a couple of examples just to make it more practical. So, okay, this guy, Klaus, is my accountant. Yeah, and you're like, what? You're talking about purpose? You show me an accountant? What's going on, Stoyan, right? A few years ago, I was looking for a new accountant, and then I asked some friends, I got a few referrals, and somebody says, you got to talk to this Klaus guy. You know, he's pretty cool. Okay, I open his webpage. This is what I see. The first message on the page. I help small business owners to sleep better at night. I'm like, okay, that guy's speaking to me, right? He's not an accountant. Accounting is his tool to serve his purpose. I gotta tell you, this summer, I was about to move my company from Denmark to Estonia. Klaus was the main reason I did not move. He's not just having a smart play of words. He's really excited to wake up every day and support entrepreneurs to do their thing, and he's taking care of all the administration. He's removing all the obstacles. He's getting pumped, he's driven, he's purposeful. What is your why? Why do you do what you do? I'm having a software B2B that's doing, okay, cool. Why should I care? There's 20 other softwares. Why do you do what you do? I gotta tell you, when you have a strong purpose and you really believe in it, you really live it, you go to an investor, you go to a customer, you go to somebody you wanna hire that's really, really good, you have a way better chance to get them on board. Because you're excited, you're driven, right? I had a customer in Copenhagen, coaching client, entrepreneur, very successful, former McKinsey guy, and he asked me, Stoyan, I have a question. How do I motivate people who are consistently underpaid, right? Because as a founder, you can't offer your team a salary like what the corporates can offer, right? But you can offer them this, you can offer them culture, you can offer them ownership, you can offer them purpose, something bigger, some cause. Let's grow together. Let's make you part of this team. Let's set up a strong vision. And this is just one example, right? Purify. A world with zero diseases. This is our vision. We might never achieve it, but this is what we strive for. This is what we wake up every day. So what is your vision? And if you haven't taken the chance to define it, I'm not talking about some fluffy kind of sentence, I'm talking about something real. What do you believe in? What do you want to happen? Why do you wake up in the morning, right? And values. A lot of people, when we talk about values, I love this one. When we talk about values, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, we need that for the job ads, or we need that for the web page. No, this is very, very practical. Here's an example. This is a company from Bulgaria. Fire Up, they won the best fintech app in Bulgaria for, I think, 2 years in a row. And I spoke to the CEO, Konstantin, I interviewed him for the book as well. He's a friend of mine. And he was like, man, this is my Bible, man. It took us a couple of years to really nail these values, but this is what we stand for. This is who we are. I need to talk about these values in everything we do. Every time I have a team meeting, talk about the values. I try to put an example or somebody from the team that did something to live the values. Because that's who we are. I want us to be among the best. I want us to be honest and caring, not just to ourselves. It's easy to be honest to ourselves, but to the customers as well. I want us to be humble and proud. A team of quiet achievers. Not just that I want us to be. I want to attract people who believe in the same things that I believe. This is what strong culture is. You surround yourself with the right kind of tribe, but you need to take the time to define it. And you need to be very careful, who do you bring on board? And it's really, sometimes for startups, it's really tempting to get this super smart guy who's on the market and you can afford them, they're skillful. And you're like, they don't really fit the culture, but fuck it, let's get him on board. Never a good decision. Never a good decision. Your values is what matters most. If somebody is negative, if somebody is breaking the culture, it is going to turn on you. But anyway, moving forward, another example. This is a company from Turkey called Bobu, and you might get some inspiration of the way you want to create your little booklet with values. The guys are obviously illustrators. What I want to emphasize here is, first of all, they are very personalized. So when you are crafting your own values, try and think about what are some words that mean something to us, that give us some emotions, right? Family and trust, builders and ownership, playfulness, right? And then the second part to it is illustrations, right? A few founders gave us this as an advice. When they started putting the values down, especially when the company started growing above 10, 15 people, it's really hard to have these conversations every time. It's like, okay, let's make a little book. Let's put something visual so we have the text for the left side of the brain and we have the visuals for the right side of the brain. People can remember it. A very good advice, keep them up to 3. And it might take you some time to craft it. As I said, usually company takes them between 1 and 3 years to really nail down the values. But you got to start the process now and talk about what matters to us. Observationally, not like what are the values that we want to have. That's great, but if I look at the team right now, what do we prioritize? That's what I did with my team a couple of years ago. We did a brainstorming session, and this is what they came up with, together with me, right? These are the 6 things. But hey, it's really nice to put something on paper. Let's revisit it. In 6 months, I asked them again, without looking at this list, can you write down and send me an email with the top 5 things we prioritize in our behavior? These are 3 different people working from home, right? And they sent me these answers. What I was happy to see is that many of the things were very similar. So they would see that we do the same things: productivity, well-being, positivity, personal growth, right? So we came together again and we boiled it down into these 3 values. This is what we stand for beyond everything else. Number 1 is the middle one, actually: well-being and care. And I say number 1 because sometimes I see that somebody from my team is not feeling so well, right? I care a lot about productivity and results, but this comes after. Well-being and care for my people is number 1. But then again, productivity, results, keeping things simple, moving forward, producing results, really, really important. And of course, personal growth and positivity is a big part of what we do to our customers and what we embrace internally. So if you haven't taken the time, especially now that you guys will have a lot of opportunities after Demo Day, I highly recommend you to sit down and talk about values, talk about purpose, talk about your vision, talk about strategy, talk about the level of commitment each person from the team is expected to have, right? Because, I don't know, in 3 years, maybe one of you want to have 2 kids and work 20 hours, that's fine. But what do you want? Are we clear on our expectations? Because when we're in alignment, it's a lot more likely we will perform better. Talking about performance, I want to go to the next one, which is my favorite area, effective planning. Many people don't spend enough time on it. Very often when I do a workshop, there'll be one person that will say, man, the whole thing about planning, it's so important, but I don't have time to plan my time. I'm just so busy, you know. I don't have time to plan my time. Of course you don't have time to plan your time because you haven't prioritized the time to plan your time. Now you have no time. Planning should be a daily activity. This gentleman here is David Allen. He's the author of Getting Things Done, GTD system. Now he's, I think, 75 plus. I had the chance to meet him several times. This is what he likes to say. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. You can do everything, anything you want. You can build any feature you want. You can focus on any customer you want, but you can't do it at the same time. It's impossible. Which is why we need to help our minds and our brains and prioritize. What are the things that matter most? Well, we can't do that unless we create the space for that. Every single day, do you have a method or a system every single day? Do you spend time 20, 30 minutes a day in which you're not working? You just focus on the bigger picture. And there's a couple of very specific things if you want to be effective in planning. The first one is being outcome driven, right? Sometimes you ask people, so what are you focused on? Well, tomorrow I'm going to do sales. What does that mean? You might spend 14 hours doing sales and do nothing. What is the concrete measurable outcome you want to produce? Are you clear what's your outcomes? What are your targets? Because there's 100 targets. What are the 3 targets that you want to hit? Anything you do, this is a mindset. Anything you do, ask yourself, what's my outcome? Let me give you an example from personal. You go on a holiday, you go on a vacation. What's your outcome? Do you want to connect with the person that you love? Do you want to relax and recharge? Do you want to party hard? Depending on your outcome, you might do things differently, right? So you want to always be clear what's the outcome and only then define the step by step. But often we're too busy to define the outcome. And we just do things. Oh man, I'm so busy, I work 14 hours. Show me what you did. Maybe you can cut out 6 of these hours if you were better in planning and you only focus on the things that matter. But even if you're really, really specific with the outcomes, it's a startup, right? Every day things are happening. I might have the best plan in the world, but I also have to be willing to change and adapt really, really quickly. Because 30% of my plan is not going to work. And I got to be really fast to go and get it done. I'm going to show you something very specific and concrete on how to plan and prioritize. Because when we are down in the jungle and hustling, sometimes it's hard to see the whole picture, right? So that's my suggestion to you. And I'm going to show you exactly how to, first of all, plan strategically, or actually remind you, and then how do you bring it into the day-to-day with a step-by-step process. But my first advice is just whatever you do, prioritize 15, 20 minutes every day. I usually do it at the end of the day, in which you don't do anything else, but you, first of all, reflect on the day, you have a look at the progress, and then you ask yourself, what are the most important results I need to produce tomorrow? Let me have a look at the long-term goals. And then let's build it backwards. Building it backwards. This is what planning is all about. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Right? What is the future? Where do you want to be next quarter? I mean, just think about it. It's 2.5 months by the end of the year. Where do you want to be with your company? What are the top 3 most important results? And then bring it backwards. What do you have to do with your team on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, in order to be on track to achieve it, right? And it always starts with the long term, and then choosing what to do on a day-to-day basis to be on track with that one. And talking about long-term planning, I had a boot camp today with the Creation Accelerator, and we had a discussion around this, and this story came out. Basically, when we're setting plans, and you guys are based in Lithuania, and it's a great country now. It's kind of really thriving. And I don't know about yourself, but I'm coming from the Balkans, and nobody when I was little was telling me, "Hey, man, you gotta dream big, man. You gotta 10x. You gotta go for the stars and so on." No, nobody would tell me these things. Everybody would tell me, like my mom and dad, they're amazing, but they'll tell me, study hard, get a job, just be patient and so on. So I didn't have these role models previously. This is the Japanese bullet train. And some of you might have heard the story of the Japanese bullet train, but basically back in the 60s, Japan was really devastated, after the Second World War. So they wanted to, once again, they're very disciplined, they're honorable and so on. So they wanted to be once again the innovation leader of the world. So they ended up landing the Olympic Games in 1964. And 4 years prior to that, the head of the railway stations, he goes and brings some engineers from different parts of the country, and he's like, the best engineers. Guys, I want you to build the fastest train on Earth. Okay, great. They come together, they make a project, and they show the guy the project. He's like, okay, what's that train? It can accelerate up to 100 kilometers per hour. Great, the fastest on Earth, 100 kilometers per hour at the time. The guy looks at them and says, that's great, but come back to me when you have a project for a train that can accelerate 200 kilometers per hour. Right? And the guys are like, this guy is nuts. I don't care, just go get all the resources you need. Money, engineers, whatever you need, just let me know. Because they have this big goal, because they have this stretch goal, they came back home and they started innovating differently. They started seeing things differently. They started looking into solving the bigger problems. Oh, let's make tunnels under the mountain. And through different innovations, iterations, trial and error, 4 years later, they managed to actually achieve the goal. And this is really, really fascinating. Many companies have been having the similar mindset. Just think about it. If you have a more ambitious goal, or at least it's just like a thought experiment. Next time you have a strategy session, just sit down and ask yourself, what if we 10x our goal? What if instead of this amount of money, we ask ourselves, how can we make 10 times more? What do we have to do in order to achieve this goal? Now, this is a Japanese example, right? Back from this history. In fact, the leaders nowadays, and I'm going to show you a Baltic example. I don't know if you guys know this company, Printify. They recently raised, I think, 45 million, if I'm not confused. And one of the investors was Richard Branson. Artist is a friend of mine. We had a chat about this thing, and he was like, man, this is the best thing that happened to us. I'm like, what is the best thing? The best thing is that we had investors from the US who were working for Facebook, Microsoft, YouTube, and they will always expand our vision. So a couple of years ago when I interviewed him, they were making 10 million euro per year in sales. Okay, 10 million euro sounds good, right? For a startup. This one guy from the advisory board, for the investors, he calls them and says, okay, guys, what's the plan for next year? How do you do it 3 times more? 30 million euro per year. And they're like, okay, that's a stretch goal, but let's get exciting, the whole team. Hey guys, if we do that, I'm gonna bring everybody to Bali for 2 weeks. Everybody's excited, they have a strategy, send it to the guy gives them feedback, fantastic, we are onto it. Great, next time we meet, I want to see a plan for how do you make 100 million per year? Ooh, 10x, amazing. All right, let's bring it on, man. The guy believes in us. They put up a deck, strategy, ideas. They meet it, send the guy the deck, meet the guy. He gives them feedback. He's like, that's great. I will introduce you to these people. We'll do this. Cool. Next time we meet, I want you to have a strategy when and how we're going to reach $500 million in sales. And the guy started laughing. I mean, come on. $500 million, come on, man. But hey, man, the guy wants us to send him something. Let's come up with some crazy ideas. They sit down. They come up with ideas. They get creative. Send him the deck. An artist told me, I'm never going to forget this. He calls us and he says, I love the strategy. It's great. But why aiming so little, man? Why do I have to always push you guys to expand your vision? Can't you see the whole picture? And from this moment on, artist is always asking himself this question. Are we playing too small? Are we focused on too little customers? Can we actually do bigger things? Can we spend our time better? Can we have bigger ambition? A great question asked by Peter Thiel. Maybe you guys have read the book. From 0 to 1, he's a billionaire. He's one of the PayPal mafia guys. When he meets a founder, he always asks them, how can you achieve your 10 years goal in 6 months, within 6 months? And you don't have to achieve the 10-year goal. You don't have to set such an ambitious goal. But next time you have a strategy session, just ask yourself this question. What do we have to do? If we were forced to the wall and we have to achieve it, how do we change the way we do things? Because that might give you a direction around what are the 2 or 3 things that really matter the most. And can we be a little bit more courageous and bold to make a leap and focus on these few things and say no to everything else? Because this is one of the problems of startup founders. They're really bad at saying no to things. They're excited about stuff. One of the villains of focus and execution that we put into the book, the 5 villains of focus and execution, one of them is the shiny object syndrome. Because we love novelty. We love to jump onto the new thing. Oh man, I have this new marketing strategy I just saw. But we already fully focus on this strategy. Yeah, but this new thing. Yeah, but we don't have the capacity. We're already 120% busy. Stay in your lane. Yes, it might take a bit of time to define what these things are, but it's your job as a leader to keep the focus of the boat towards the direction we want to go. Everybody have ideas, especially you as a founder. Stay focused, right? Okay, moving forward. Strategic tool, many of you might have used it, but I'll quickly cover it anyway. Objectives and key results. What does that mean? This is a system that's been developed by IBM back in, I think, in the 80s. But it became really popular when Google and other tech companies decided to implement it. OKR stands for objectives and key results. It is very similar to goals, but it's a lot more structured. So an objective is something that's kind of like a direction. So this is a very good methodology you can use, and maybe on the next strategies, if you're not using OKRs, you can just try it out. You don't have to be using OKRs, you can use another one, but it's a very simple one, right? Objective, grow our sales in Poland. The key results are connected to this objective. What does it mean that we achieve this objective? Double our sales, launch a land, like whatever it is, right? Concrete, measurable key results. Ideally, if you're a small company, you do 3 objectives and maybe 3 key results for each of them. If you're a little bigger, every department might have that. But when you have 3, it's easy to remember, right? And then on a day-to-day basis, by the way, this is an example from a company from Slovakia, how they're using the OKRs. Many companies are adapting it to their own needs. Highly recommend them to check it out. There's a book called Measure That Matters. Great book, how to implement OKRs properly. But once you set the strategic goals, or you might call it the quarterly goals, but in the cycle of a startup, I would say strategic goals is 3 months, pretty much. Defining your priorities and actually measuring your priorities. How do we stay on track as professionals? And how do we make sure that everybody on the team is on track with their priorities based on these goals? This is an example from Talentuno, a company from Hungary. The CEO, Zolti, shared this material with me, the guy with the green, what they do on a monthly basis, and that might be a good practice for you as well, is every manager needs to pitch to the rest of the managers what my top 5 priorities should be. And they have a rule of thumb. My number 1 priority needs to take 30% of what I do and my team does. The second one, 25, the third one, 15. So top 5 priorities should be taking 90% of our resources and time. The good thing about it is they actually have to pitch to each other, right? So if Krista is having as number 1 leadership capabilities, she needs to convince the rest of the managers that this is a priority we need to follow. One other point I want to make before I move on is Zolti, as I said, is the guy who is the CEO. He's super, super busy. Despite the fact he's super busy, he's the one with the least priorities. Only 3. And I asked him why, and he was like, because the fewer the priorities, the better the focus. If I only have 3, I know that there'll be a lot more things coming in my direction. But I can get back on track fast, because I know what my priorities are. Just ask yourself, are you clear what your top 5 priorities are as a leader? And do you know what the priorities of the people from your team are? Are we on the same page? Do we measure consistently and track whether we're on track with the goals and the priorities? Something to think about. But I move forward, and I move forward to the day-to-day. How do we master the day-to-day? This gentleman is the Jim Rohn. He's, you can call it the father of personal development. He loves to say, unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, but you can find a lot of great stuff on YouTube. he loves to say, don't start your day until you have it finished. Don't start your week until you have it finished. Don't start your month until you have it finished. What does that mean? It means you go to the office in the morning or work from home, I don't know. You need to be clear how the day looks like if it was finished already. If it's 8 p.m., what are the main results that I wanted to produce? I spoke to Mark Harrison, who is the CEO and founder of a company, 100 people agency in Canada, and asked him about time management and self-management and what do you do to be on the top of your game? And he said, well, everybody's looking for the softwares, man. What is the tool? What is the application? The only self-management program that works in the entire world is that you do a daily to-do list at the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day, you review it. Now, in my case, I like to do it in the evening. But the thing is, unless you master the habits to self-management, you don't need any freaking app. The app is just to automate it. If you don't, it's about the habit. Let me give you one habit that I've been having for many years. Hundreds of entrepreneurs are using a similar methodology, and it might be something for you as well. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It doesn't matter the methods, but it matters that you consistently spend time on a daily basis to analyze and see, where is my time going? Am I focused on the right things? So it's a 5-step simple method to bring your strategic goals into the day-to-day. Step number 1, and by the way, we're using an example from Victoria Vasilenko, who's the CEO of Knowledge Gate Group, a Copenhagen-based founder. Step number 1. First of all, and you can find that in GTD, Time of Your Life, all kind of productivity system. It's the same stuff. You get stuff out of your head, put it on your phone, on your notebook, in a spreadsheet, one place, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Let me have a look at my meetings. Let me have a look at all the projects, the goals. What do I have to do tomorrow? Dump it. For many people, that's how their to-do list looks like. The problem is I usually will have 40, 50 unrelated things, and I might spend my time inefficiently. So what I want to do is I want to group them first together, right? This is all connected to sales. This is connected to the team. But then I want to define the outcomes. Follow up to customer. What does that mean, follow up to customer? Hey, customer, I just wanted to follow up. Bye. No. I don't want to follow up to customer. I want something from this follow-up. I want my customer to feel completely taken care of and they have the perfect service. Great, this is one outcome. Or I want to upsell them something for €1,000. Great, this is another outcome. But this second outcome, I need to probably do something else in order to achieve it. So I need to do this analysis before I commit to do anything. David Allen likes to say, your mind doesn't have one. That's the problem. Your mind doesn't have one. You need to help your mind to prioritize and take the best decision. The fourth step is very important step. I call it your daily menu. What happens when you go to a restaurant? A waiter comes and says, would you like to order? Or should I give you a menu? I usually like the menu, right? Because I can see all the different options and how much things are costing me, right? And you're not paying with money, you're paying with your time. If I'm here with you spending an hour and a half here, I cannot spend this hour and a half anywhere else. Is that a priority? Yes, it is. But there's a bunch of things that are not my priority. So I need to make this analysis before I say yes to anything to be on my agenda. Can I delegate to somebody from my team anything? Barney can do that. That's awesome. I don't have to do it. Victor can do this part. Fantastic. And you teach your team to do the same thing. You teach your team to make a list. You sit together for 15 minutes, align with each other, boom, we're on track right now. What does it mean, aligning? Well, you also want to put it in your schedule. Even if it's something you do with yourself. I have a meeting. I would never have written a book if I didn't tell myself, hey, from 9 to 10:30, I have a meeting with myself to put together 2 pages of the book. That's it. I hate to write. I don't like to do it. But I gotta do it. I know it's important. There's a lot of things we don't like to do, but we gotta do it, right? Final point on the planning part. Some of you might have listened to this, seen this book, read this book. By the way, please, guys, if there's anything on the chat, Guste, Monica, just let me know if when I have 10 minutes, for example, so I make sure that I finish on time. So coming back to it, Eat That Frog. So there was a book by Brian Tracy. It's a very small book, tiny book about time management. The main idea around it is coming from a quote by Mark Twain. Okay, somebody's writing. No, that's not it. Okay, coming from a quote by Mark Twain. If you have to eat a frog, this is one of your tasks of the day, is to eat a living frog. Do it first thing in the morning, right? What is your frogs? What are these heavy tasks? What are the things that you don't want to do, that you keep procrastinating and avoiding? Do it first thing in the morning. And if you have to eat more than one frog, start with the ugly one first. Just imagine if how your productivity is going to increase if everybody from your team starts with your frogs every morning. You do this contract, you have the uncomfortable conversation, you're done. From there on, whatever you do, it's just a bonus, right? But you gotta define what are the frogs, and you gotta put them in your schedule and say, hey, for me, my frog was write stuff for the book. I hate to write, right? But it's done. It's done. Anyway, frog, it's also a really good language. You can talk about that stuff. Anyway, moving forward, roles and responsibilities, the most neglected area. We already discussed, people know what their roles are, but we are not always clear. What are the exact responsibilities and commitments? The chief marketing officer of this company and this company, they'll have a different separation of roles and responsibilities, right? And super important thing, we often focused on the strengths, but we don't talk to our people and we don't actually know about ourselves. What do we love to do? You know, this person, she's really good in marketing. Yeah, she's great in marketing. She should do the marketing. Does she enjoy it? Or is it kind of, it's fine. I'm really good. You know, I'm an exceptionally good movie producer. Organizing everything, setting, like, I'm exceptional. Like, I have a lot of experience. I don't really enjoy it. That's why I quit. It's okay, I can do it. I enjoy other things. But if I don't have this discussion with my team, it's really hard for them to know. They'll just keep giving me the producing stuff. Super useful and important tool. Highly recommend any person that's in the audience to sit down with their team and just have a really meaningful discussion, real discussion, honest talk. What are the things that I love to do? I'm usually good at. What are the things that, it's okay, I can do it? And what are the things that I hate to do? Just make a list of all the responsibilities. What do we have to do? Even for the things that you're not doing at the moment, put a color, highlight it. Sit down with your team and you'll be amazed. Often 80-90% of the things, you probably guess them, but there will be this 10-15% of things that you wouldn't expect. I had somebody on my team, we do this exercise and she's like, oh my God, I love proofreading. Can I do more proofreading? I'm like, proofreading? She loves proofreading, right? I mean, I hate freaking proofreading and stuff like that, but she's excited, she loves them. Like, before that, I wouldn't give her to do any proofreading with the book, with social, because I thought it's a boring stuff and she doesn't want to do it. She loves proofreading. And you might find some of these things. Or maybe you say, hey, nobody likes to do that. We need to get somebody on board. But now we know who this person is, how they look like, right? Okay, moving forward. Another great exercise that's complementary to this one is the RACI matrix. So the first one is about what do we like to do? And this one is about, now that we know what we like to do, let's put it into the projects that we are having, okay? So who's the person who's accountable for this thing? Who's taking ownership of it? I might be accountable and I might be doing nothing on this project. But I'm the one that is required to deliver by Friday. Who are the people who are responsible? Who are actually getting it done. I can be accountable and responsible, but there's only one person accountable. Group responsibility is no responsibility. Who's doing the marketing campaign? Oh, it's Sylvia, Martin, and Ivan. Yeah, but who's the one person that is taking the final decision, is taking ownership, creating clarity in the organization? Consulted. Who should we ask before we take a decision? And informed. Who do we keep in the loop, right? So moving forward, and please, guys, I'm looking at here at the chat, so let me know how much time I have still. I guess I have like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but please let me know. Optimal energy. How do we create a culture of optimal energy? I'm going to start with this quote by Vlad, who's a co-founder from Belarus, very successful one and a very mindful one, I would say, very much taking care of his mental, physical, emotional energy. And he told me a founder job is to take good care of the well-being of the team. They literally, with his co-founder, they sat together and they said, hey, what do we do to create it cool for people to talk about personal development, to talk about energy? Can we go and exercise together? Can we watch some videos about creating more energy? And what else can we do? How can we create these healthy habits in the organization? And it's really important, right? Because you might be burning out. Or if you're not careful, somebody from your team might burn out. I burned out maybe 5 years ago. And this is, by the way, a frame by Tony Schwartz, who's the creator of the Energy Project. And but I love it because it's very simple. He's looking at energy from negative to positive and low to high. Obviously, everybody wants to be in the performance zone all the time, right? Getting things done, you're positive, you're on a high energy, boom, boom, boom. I was striving to be in the performance zone because I would always look at these motivational speakers and entrepreneurs, and they'll tell you hustle, hustle, hustle. And I was hustling like crazy. And then at some point, I'm like completely smashed, and I need to go to the renewal zone because that's what it is. Every waking hour, I'll be working, right? The problem is when you're always performing and you don't take the space to recharge, you get into the survival zone. You start, I'm going to sleep a little less. I'm going to, drink a bit more coffee. And then at some point, you slowly get into the burnout zone.
Stoyan, Simona is talking now. Actually, Monica sent you a message to your messenger. Could you please take a look into there? Thank you.
Yes, wrapping up. So I have 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. What do I have?
Like 2 ghosts. One is behind the screen, and you do not see me as well, as I understood, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have 2 minutes. Fantastic. I keep on keeping on. Just give me a second, guys. So let me just wrap it up then. So what I wanted to wrap it up with is just 1 second. And then hopefully, if you guys, let me know if you have some time for questions. I'll be happy to take some questions. So just to wrap it up, talking about the energy, it is simple, guys. It is super simple, but do you make it a priority to pay attention to your energy? Do you make it a priority to sleep well, to exercise, to eat properly, to take time for yourself? And as an example for people, would you say that your energy is high, you're an optimal energy? Because you as a leader, everybody's looking after you, right? So just to get you back into the jungle, and of course, there's a lot of things. I'll be happy to answer any questions if we have the time. Otherwise, feel free to connect with me. But getting back into the perform methodology. Have a look at this tomorrow, maybe with your team, and really think about which of those areas we don't pay enough attention to. What do we have to improve? Which of these areas, if we start paying some attention to, if we take some of these things and create the space, will make a huge difference in the way we do things. And please let me know how that goes. Super, super happy to be in touch. My name is Toini Ankov. You can find me specifically on LinkedIn, but I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere else. Super happy to be connected. If you would like to grab a copy of this book with including examples of over 50 successful founders and thought leaders, you can go to this webpage and there's a 20% off with the code TechHub. Actually, I made a mistake, but I'll send it to you anyway if you're interested in that. And of course, if you're interested to hear more about this kind of topics, that's my podcast, Productivity Mastery. You can find it on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, everywhere. But without any further ado, let's get back here. And please let me know, I'm looking at my screen right now, if there's any space for questions. Please let me know, Monica or Simona, if there's any questions.
Yeah, then I have a chance to grab a mic. I am very happy to do that. So when I heard my name, I grabbed it immediately. Yeah, definitely. We have one question because I know that Algis has one. So before we say a big thank you for the content which you shared, for your experience which you shared, I would like to ask Algis to bring his question here on the stage. I can share my mic if you don't mind to get Corona from me. I'm joking.
Hi, so thank you a lot for the presentation. And I'm wondering just about the idea of priorities pitching. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting thing. And I'm just wondering if this wouldn't increase some kind of stretches or like between people, because you are putting also on the stage a person that he has to pitch his priorities. So it's kind of, yeah.
So how many, just can you give me a context, how many people are in your company? You guys are in the company?
It's around 5.
Right. I mean, when you guys are 5 people, you talk to each other all the time anyway. I wouldn't be so afraid if we put people on the spot, even if they're introverted and so on, because that's also opportunity for them to grow. But I agree, it has to be part of the culture. So if that's nothing that doesn't feel right for you and for your team and the culture that you guys part of, then maybe they can share it in a spreadsheet or something else. The important thing is for us to align around what the priorities are. And when you ask people, hey, can you tell me what your priorities are? They need to tell you what they are, right? They need to take the time to define them. So that also creates ownership. Oh, I shared my priorities publicly. Now I have to deliver. Because next time I have to say, what do you do with the priority? Did you manage to, no, you want to be there, right? So that's the reason. I wouldn't say that's a practice that necessarily works for everybody, but I think it's a good example. And but it's about consistency, man. It's about doing things consistently. I hope that gives you some sort of a perspective.
I'm sure people know their priorities all the time. Sometimes they do not know themselves.
People, like, I do so many workshops now with smaller and bigger organizations. I gotta tell you, majority of people had no idea.
Exactly what I want to point out.
If the manager or the person, the founder, the executive, doesn't matter, if they know in their head, nobody else knows. This is 95% of the companies.
That's why we need good coaches for that. Okay, thank you, Stoyan. A lot of applause for you. Put your hands together. And what we really know now, that we need to perform. Now just we need to act, right? And to perform.
Performing, guys.
Theoretically, we heard already your experience. Now we need to perform. Are we ready to perform? Woo! Are we ready to finally approach the end of today's event? I think at this time, this is your priority, right? To finish the event and to go to network, to relax, and to chat among all of you. Okay, but before we start the final part of today's event and of today's demo day, I still would like to invite Irma Bučinskaitė, then me, and Mindaugas Bružas, there you are, Oxus AI. To chat a little bit with me, you can take a seat any of those. I will join you as well. To chat a little bit with me, was it worth the effort to attract... Hi, Mindaugas.
Hey,
I see you. I'm not sure you see me, but this time I'm featured. Okay. Anyway, you hear me, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. So, is it worth the effort? Hard work, self-improvement, pitching to investors, does it pay off? Okay, so now I put this mic to the place and going to grab another mic.
Okay, so maybe Mindaugai, you will start? Or you will let me to do it?
Can I ask the question first? Or you have to... Oh, good. Okay, so Monica, Milda, they do not need me already. They took everything into their hands.
Too much.
They took everything already in their hands, and I can already go for a coffee. Thanks, guys. Actually, it was really nice. Okay, so first of all, actually, I'm not sure that everybody here, or especially everybody who is watching us online, really knows what you are doing and what the uniqueness your startups have. So could you please tell very shortly, elevator pitch, not the real pitch, elevator pitch in one sentence, what BenMe is doing?
Yes, so BenMe, you can read what we are doing. We are making benefits better. So we created a solution that allowed for employees to choose personalized benefits, and we are managing all the process, all the suppliers with our online marketplaces. So now, if you are an employer, you can suggest your employees everything from Netflix to I don't know, tickets, bus tickets, and we will manage everything.
I'm not sure all of them, they are already employers, but that will be definitely.
But
so you are making sales.
They are employees, which is also receiving benefits that they are not personal, and I believe that they want to prove that. So we are helping. So if you are receiving benefits that you don't like, or you don't or you prefer better, so tell your employer about us, and we will manage it.
We have just started to make sale bottom up. Okay, great. Mindaugas, your turn.
Yeah, so what we do, actually we help sales teams improve performance, leveraging advanced speech analytics. And important is in any language. So actually we help sales managers to clone their top performers. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So could you share with us, was it difficult to receive the investment?
Yes, it was difficult. I don't know how it's for Mindaugas in his case, in his sector, but in our sector, you know that COVID made a lot of changes, and where is problem, there is solution. So I knew, and I heard from Startup with Guys that our competition was the biggest one, because it was European startup program, and the problem with employees that hybrid work, remote work created a lot of problems, and in the result a lot of startups was built to manage that problems. So, but after we heard that we are in the program, everything changed. Really, everything changed. But every day we had to show that we are there, not just because I'm smiling maybe a lot, or that we are, I don't know, a nice person like a team, but also that we are creating the best solution, and we are very hungry, and we are very, I don't know, motivated to do that until the end, and to do that not just for local prioritizes, but also for global companies. So it was hard, yes.
And could you please uncover the secret or not? How much have you received?
You know, you're receiving, but you're giving.
Okay,
so when I'm hearing that question, I can say that we can take money, but in the result you are giving shares, in the end. So we received 50K. Now we are looking for 250K from angels until the end of this year. And next year it will be a normal seed round, about million and more.
You expect?
Now we are talking with investment. I don't know. It was difficult to participate and to be in the program, to be chosen in that program. But after that, now market, I don't know, trust what we are doing, because Startup with Guys program, I believe that they have that I don't know, experience to build and to grow successful startups. So after that, we received really a lot of investment and trust of what we are doing.
I love that ambition, actually, because when I am doing math in my head, and you told 50K, right? And doing math, how much does one employee cost, and how much effort and resources do I need to bring? So 50K is really a small amount, let's say, right? But you have a potential.
I'm half of Suvalkieta, so...
Okay. Shout out.
And I'm lucky.
So you know what to do with money.
Yes, and I'm lucky that my CTO also... It was my idea, and my CTO made that idea to the program, to the software. So we are investing our salary. So because of that, we are saving, and we are living with that 50K.
And at the same time, as you told already, you give some part of equity, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not asking about what part, but next time I'll definitely ask. Okay, Mindaugas, and what about you? Was it difficult to approach investors, to receive investment?
So probably everyone wants to hear it was difficult, right? But honestly, it was easy. After 2 years working full time, 80 hours a week, and building relationships pretty early in the process with the investors, and of course, at the same time building traction behind. Yeah, that's you can say that it's easy, and we landed 1 million so far.
So the first part which you have received is the same as Irma, or your investment is different?
No. So if to talk about the total amount, so it's 1 million, and 800 is from investors, and 200 is this Norway grant that we recently received as well. Total amount is 1 million.
Yeah, so you have an advantage for Norway grant, as they do not take equity, right? It's like it's kind of investment, but
advantage.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I am also very curious. Do you have, because I understand how many efforts and resources on your own you need to put when you are building a startup, and then you want to really attract investors, and you did that. Congrats once more. Do you have like your 8 hours job, or you are developing just your startups right now, Irma?
I have more than 8-hour job in me, and it was from the first day that we decided that we're building that company. So we quit and we left our jobs, because I believe that it's impossible to be the best in two works and two I don't know ideas. So we agreed and we did it.
Mindaugas, and you? Do you work just for your startup, or you also have your regular job, let's say?
Yeah, so actually most of people thinking that it's possible kind of to work and kind of have this secure situation, get some income, and then, dedicate some time for the startup and so on. But honestly, from my experience, that doesn't work at all. And if you want to build something meaningful, you should dedicate like 60 to 80 hours a week. It means like full time, and focus only on your startup. And keep in mind that it's okay for next 2 years work that way and not gonna get any income. So if you are prepared for that, so that's fine. Then you can kind of reach some reasonable milestones with that time frame. But if you gonna think that in 2 months we're gonna get first income, we're gonna pay our salaries and so on, it would be much harder. So it's this insight is for me, just go for the long shot and be prepared, not get any income quite a long time.
This is why I'm asking, because actually every day I meet a lot of founders and co-founders, owners and co-owners, which treat their startup as a hobby. And what we really usually want to focus on, that first you need to invest yourself. And if you are not becoming the investor for your startup yourself, so other investors, they are not so curious to work with you.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, it's no go if you're not working full time on your project. So none of investors. Actually, I'm also an investor. I was investing in other startups. So it doesn't make to invest into the project that have like high risk and at the same time the low stakes of the founder in this project. So it would be very hard to find investors if you're not dedicating full time, honestly.
And I believe in these days, there is all the opportunities to make that risk, because now it's market is hot. Employers are headhunting employees, so to find a job, if you will not receive success with your startup, it will be easier. Also, when you will building that startup, you will receive a lot of knowledge, a lot of network, and everything, and you will be better than you was before. So do it, invest all your time, all your interest in your startup, and you will see that you will be better. And if you will improve, if you will create your startup and will make it successful, it will be, amazing, amazing, amazing.
And here we could say that the saying "time is money" becomes like a body here in a startup, right? Because more time you invest in the beginning, faster you do, and you close the way for your competitors, which are approaching. And newborns as well, right?
Yes, in our story, Mindaugas said that it's 2 years of their company, and we are just half a year old company. So, but also that we invested a lot, and really I missed a lot of time. But in the result, you're investing because you like it, what you're doing. You're so excited to do that and faster to do that. So you're not counting hours, you're not having weekends, because all the days the same. Every day I'm managing a problem with sleeping, but not because I'm receiving a lot of stress, because I'm waiting next day to work, to build, to create, to connect, to do something with my startup. So this is an amazing journey.
Irma, this is called passion.
Yes.
So it's really amazing to see you being so passionate about what you are doing.
And when you are truly passionate, everybody sees that. I know that startup wise guys, they saw that, and it was that, I believe that maybe the last thing that they made a risk with us, and also investors and also employers. So start with you, how you're thinking about what you're doing, and then really it will be easier to attract everybody.
You know what I feel like sitting close to you? That you have much more what to say, that you are able to, because you can't talk so fast. Okay, guys, one more question. So the good part, you get the support. Also, this even small amount of money, if we compare with big investments, right, demonstrates that you already, that they believe in you, and this is one more motivation to go forward, right? But at the same time, there is or a myth or not, you tell me, that then investors comes to you, and then you are already having their take their investment. At the same time, you lose something which is called flexibility for decisions and for some other directions, let's say. So tell us how you manage with that.
For me, it's easy because startup with guys, I'm just receiving a lot of attention, a lot of support, everything. Not just like a startup, also like a human. They were that person that they were saying to me, Irma, go and have a rest, take a free day. And so I didn't receive any, I don't know, any bad things or feelings from them. I just received a lot of support and help. And Mindaugas' case, I believe, with the bigger money, it's a different situation. So Mindaugas, please tell us more.
I told you I can leave my place now because they are doing themselves everything what we need.
I'm also curious.
Yeah, so regarding these terms and what you mentioned, giving the control, everything depends on the terms and what kind of investors you are looking for and you're choosing, right? So in our situation, we were picking investors very carefully, and we were looking for those who are bringing the value, understand the startup life and how they can help the founder, not to micromanage him. You negotiate all these terms and so on, and we agreed on pretty rational, logical terms that allows us to have the control on the main decisions and to move like really fast. Of course, except these kind of extremes, which if you want to sell the company, IP or similar. So definitely for those, you need to have this majority consent of majority of investors. But nevertheless, really, we rejected some of investors who were approaching and asking to join this round just because of the not right fit or not right mentality, and it's everything on you. You choosing partners to whom you want to work with, and it's everything in your hands. So of course you need to have some leverage, right? So if you have like one investor who is negotiating with you and you begging him to give you money, so it's like one thing. Another thing is to create demand for investment into your company. Then you can choose from investors which you see the best fit. Yeah.
What I really love about what you told, just that it's not that they are picking you, but at the same time you are choosing as well, right? And we always need to think that there is no weaker side; both parts wins. So this is very important note as well for everybody who dreams to attract investors.
I remember the tip that I received from colleagues that it's like the same like to choose a partner, your life partner. So be very, very careful and also make your homework.
It's more responsible actually step because it's easier to divorce with home partner than to compare with business partner.
True.
Yeah, I'm very experienced in that.
You too.
Okay. Something to share. Okay, guys. There is one more thing which I would like to ask both of you, because what I really heard, one advice you gave, personally me, I catched it, that you do not dream about having your startup as a hobby and one day all investors will approach and will say, I beg you, please let me to invest into you. But first you need to become your investor yourself and dedicate not even full-time, but double full-times, I would call it. In startups it is like this. And so it's one like advice from both of you. Another is like that you need to choose like a partner, the investor, right? For to have the same mindset, for to have the same vision, and to have the same understanding. What else you could add for everybody who seeks?
I can say from my side because for me it was really difficult to find a motivation, not motivation, but to believe that my idea is good to not just for the local market but also for the global market, and to be a startup, successful startup. So I really appreciate all the mentors and their help, support, and motivation and feedbacks. First, mentors I met in MITA program, they were that persons that told me that, Irma, we are voting for you. You are doing something good. Go, go, go. After that, I believe that it's not enough for me because we are just two of us, me and CTO. So I am very happy that Startup Voice guys came and we participated in that program. And after that, I also received that motivation, that belief that we are doing, and also help support. And then you are starting to believe on yourself. You're building company, you're hiring employees, but that difficult moment, I received that help from mentors that I met in programs.
TechHub, we are doing something right. Okay, thank you, Irma. Mindaugas, what add-on would you like to put on top?
Yeah, so probably a few important things I would say is you need to really clearly answer to yourself why you're doing that. It's like, because the journey, it's gonna be like 6, 7, 10 years, right? So will you have enough guts to run this marathon with in between like quick sprints? So you really need to have this, why, reason why you're doing that, and getting up every morning passionate about doing it, because you're really gonna get the hard times. I promise you, believe me. So this is one, and the second one is probably grit, right? So you're gonna go and you're gonna get a lot of no answers. You're gonna hire people gonna say no. Look for investors. Majority of them are gonna say no. If you're going after customers, most of them gonna say no. If you're a startup, I mean, it's risky and so on. I mean, on every corner, you're gonna get no. So you have this, if you have quite clear reason why, and you have this grit, persistence to get this done. So it's just a matter of time. You're gonna nail it. Yeah. So that would be my few take on it.
Thank you. At least I know now why we are doing that with TechHub. It's very clear, bringing more startups to a stage, right? So thank you. Irma wanted to add something, or because you grabbed your mic?
I can
Okay. Okay, so thank you both. Very happy to bring you on the stage to give some advices for everybody who listened to us.
It's our pleasure.
I will be very curious to follow your journeys. I hope to meet you in one more fireside chat with you. So thank you, and applause to Mindaugas and Irma.
Thank you guys for having me. So and have a great time, and wish you the best of the best, and success all the startups attending here. So see ya.
This is for you guys. Thank you, Mindaugas. Thank you, Irma.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. I got a lot of mics today. Like a kid, like to play with it. Okay, so finally we have arrived to the final part. Woo! So, but first of all, oh my God, you hate me, right? I imagine that at the end of today we'll have a lot of haters. So, what I would like to remind you that TechHub, will announce 5 teams which will be awarded. But in this cohort, we have 14 graduates. So before that, we still need to remember all them. But yeah, guys, do you remember what the prize is? Co-financing to acceleration program in any EU country, and also co-financing to business meetings and all other different trips to meet your new partners. We'll go for 5 teams, right? But before that, as Mindaugas told and as Irma shared, that it's very, very important to have a support, right? And to have people around you who believes in what you're doing or kicks your asses or does wherever they can, even in the midnight. So I would like now to hear the the loudest actually shouting and applauses which we heard today, which goes to our mentors, to the team of TechHub, to Gediminas and to everybody. But I want to hear, to feel like the roof is moving. Dear mentors, thank you. Do you hear? Everybody hears what is going on here? Okay. So now, I would like to invite Aurelija Šilinskaitė, one of our mentors as well. Aurelija, bring your smile here. And to say a couple of words on behalf of the TechHub team and mentors tonight.
Thank you, Simona. Finally, microphone is mine. So hello once again, future unicorns. So exactly, these applauses should come for you. So from our big team, I would like to congratulate you from the very heart, all of our team. Ending this Meta TechHub program. And then actually 3 things I would like to say. I do really hope that the ending word is not appropriate here because it's not ending actually. So you just made 1 step. And if you want to continue your journey, you will have to do it tomorrow, after tomorrow. And as Irma, where is Irma? Mindaugas said, basically, it's not the easiest way, but if you choose that path, so go forward. So never stop, and be aware that probably there will be situations that you start hesitate on yourself. So basically, it's very normal, and it could happen, but just go further and think about the main idea and why did you start it? What is your motivation? Because money is not everything. I want to say that you can get an offer from somewhere and receive a very big salary, very huge amount of money. And then you have to decide which way to go. So don't leave your idea and always remember why did you start it. So I do really hope that during this program, you learn some techniques because you can't make sales, you can't go to the customers if you don't know how to do that. The first thing, I do really hope that you learn something there, and if not, you know whom to ask, and you know the tools, how you should improve your progress. The second thing, I do really recommend you not to wait so long. Go and do sales. Now you know how to do it. Remember, now it's your time to perform. So there is no way, to wait so long, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. It's not a path, it's not a way for you. So go and do it now. Know your customer, build relationships. And the last but not least thing, I do really recommend you to make connections. If you didn't connect to us mentors or your group members, do it right now. Because you never know when you meet these people and how we will help you. So thank you being here. You're really great. Thank you for your presentations. Thank you for your passion. Be brave. Always look forward. And thank you once again being here.
Aurelia, I just wanted to interrupt you and say that pre-acceleration has already ended and you are again giving a session here and reminding everything.
Everything, don't forget it.
I just got a message that Irma from Gen to Gen wants to say something to TechHub. Any, actually we have plenty of them.
I didn't prepare actually a speech, but on behalf of the third cohort, I really want to thank, first of all, organizers and mentors and all the lectures for this, actually, I call it wonderful marriage, which probably will continue in, every different senses. I'm sure that we guys really made a good network here. We had a great time. We really received a high quality content. We were really kicked into our asses, basically. And I think the motivation and, the goals are here. So thank you, mentors. Thank you, organizers, for this great, great journey.
Thank you, Irma. Thank you. Okay, so before we start to nominate. Oh my God! All those 5 winners. Let's say I would like to mention, just to shout out names of startups which also graduated from the program but they haven't pitched today. Maybe we still need to do one more extra mile, and the next time we will be able to pitch on the stage as well. So let's clap and let's put our hands together for Climb for Health, Family Lab Academy, Lab for Change, Smart Interior, Cropus, and Get Fast. And now we will start. Aurelia, come here, grab your mic if you want or not, because we will start announcing already. Yeah, this you can have if you want to say something. Now we will start announcing all those 5 teams which are invited to take part in acceleration in Europe, to travel to business trips, and so on and so on. Okay. Actually, for 3 teams, it was very, very strong yes from all juries and mentors and investors. For 1 team, it was yes for sure. And for 1 more team, there were a lot of doubts in between 2. Because for both of those teams, still lack a little bit, but just a little bit. But anyway, we have decided, like all jury have decided, to give that with a small credit in advance. I will say which team is that, but not now, because now, not in a row, but we will announce names. Guys, I left my phone there, and there are names, so give me 1 second.
Under pressure.
I love doing that.
We see it, Simona, we see it.
Okay. Just let me see. Okay. So one of those teams, it's not underscored. it just mixed. One of teams is pretty young, very ambitious, very consistent, and it is, do you know which team? Be Bright! Woo! All of us one day will be there, and it is Gen for Gen! Woo! Others not, but okay. Now you're taking picture, right? I do not know, this fire, it sticks me there and I can't hide myself, even I am very small. Okay, can I? Thanks. I'm too small, they are hiding me. Okay, I can go. Okay. Here. Okay. That's good. Perfect. One more winner is everybody. We have at least one at home, but we will have much more very personal, I will call it items. New ants! Woo! Okay, now we still have two left. And you remember, right, what prizes, thanks. You remember, right, what prizes they get, and that this is TechHub pre-accelerators, third cohorts graduates. So, now, one more startup which is invited to come here is the one which is somehow related with professional health style, and the one which is invited with a small credit and in advance, and it is motion trials. Woo! But now, Vytautas, you need to give us a promise that you will make that extra mile to prove that you are worth of it. So, we hope that our relatives and others will get for their Christmas this year already something. Can you guess who is the last one, but not the least, definitely? Can you guess? And you are not right. This is Balancy. Woo! Oh my God, what faces do I see? Balancy, it's not Yuffie. So, Ramune, you still need to add that sixth sense, which is intuition, because here I feel that there were no intuition. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. I just want to remind you that we have just started already the 4th cohort, and that please tell to everybody who could benefit from TechHub pre-accelerator, and invite them to follow our social media, to follow all the information, and to apply for the 5th cohort. Thanks a lot once more. Happy to see happy faces here, and all of you, you are invited, those who are here actually, you are invited to one place, which Milda will tell us, for a coffee or tea or something. We are live, I can't tell something, what something. Okay, thanks guys, applause for yourself. Thank you for participating. Thank you for becoming the part of TechHub community. And once you got in, you never get out. Thank you. Woo! I can't stop talking. That's it. Turn off the mic. Thank you.